My name is Shaylin Williams, and I dated a scammer. I know, Trilogy raised me better.
The first few years it was open as the most scariest haunted house.
McKamey Manor.
McKamey Manor.
McKamey Manor.
McKamey Manor.
An extreme haunted house.
It is not an extreme haunt in any way. This is a place to be in his fetish, and if you lasted 8 hours, you get $20,000.
And it's fake prop money. I was there with him when he bought it.
The haunt doesn't exist.
It's a double-wide trailer.
Why are you here?
I dated him.
The owner of an infamous haunted attraction is facing charges.
Domestic assault, rape, and attempted second-degree murder.
The articles don't name the victim. Were those charges about you?
Russ McKamey was arrested at his home in Summertown after allegedly trying to kill his girlfriend on more than one occasion.
Yeah, it was me.
McKamey is accused of strangling the victim on 2 separate incidents.
If she doesn't respond right, she gets punished.
McKamey had been accused of assaulting his girlfriend to the point where she lost consciousness.
Does it not matter that I said no 3 times?
The way you said no is exactly the kind of cutesy no's I was hearing.
He's scamming people. He's a rapist and he's a pedophile. His ass should be in fucking prison right now.
For years I sat on it, but then Hulu approaches me.
Doc came out. This guy's a predator, monster.
Because of Trilogy inspiring me.
No. I'm done, Russ. Shut up.
Led a movement to put a stop to Russ and his shenanigans.
That is the most disrespectful, sick, disgusting thing you could have ever done to me.
We got a reply from Russ, an audio clip.
This is the most clear case of witness intimidation I've ever seen.
Fucking let's do it. Play that shit. Keep it rolling.
To destroy somebody, that's what he's done, god damn it. He's destroyed my fucking life.
The documentary's a great start, but it didn't do enough.
Russ Allen McKamey, all charges have been dropped.
It was a miscarriage of justice that Russ got let go.
There's no law that I know of that they can be charged with violating.
I do not authorize my voice recording to be on your show.
I figured he would end up killing me.
No, don't touch me. You're mad.
I am, Mom. I was just gonna do this.
No, that's what I did to you.
So don't do what a Hulu did. It doesn't end up well, I promise you.
You are about to witness one of the wildest, darkest, and most unpredictable stories we have ever told on this channel. But before we dive in, I need to preface this entire video with some words of warning for those that might be easily triggered, and words of fact for those that really don't want this video to exist. And there are several. First off, a warning. This video could be triggering for those of you sensitive to delicate subject matter. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're gonna see a lot of stuff that is either censored or blurred, but if you're a bit more adventurous and you like seeing things exactly the way they are, you can find this exact video uncensored over at trilogyplus.com. The pinned comment beneath this video will have the link directly to the uncensored version, as well as an ocean of other links and resources pertaining to this story that you can investigate yourself, but more on that later. Finally, some facts, especially for those individuals that are exposed in this video, or anyone operating on their behalf. This video is for documentary, educational, and entertainment purposes only. The content of this video, all of it, is protected by law. This video is not defamation. Truthful statements, personal opinions, and first-hand experiences are not defamation. All of this is protected under the First Amendment and established U.S. case law. This video is not copyright infringement. As per Section 107 of the U.S. Copyright Act, any and all third-party materials are used legally when done so for criticism, commentary, or public interest journalism. It's called fair use, and it's been tried and tested in court more times than we can count. This video is not an invasion of privacy. All video and audio featured here were captured legally, with the full knowledge and consent of the parties recording them, fully compliant with Tennessee's one-party consent law. And as for the usual list of privacy torts, right of publicity doesn't apply to individuals that have voluntarily made themselves into public figures and actively promoted their personas online. Intrusion upon seclusion and publication of private facts don't apply when the information was lawfully recorded by someone present and directly involved. And as for a false light claim, Not even close. When what's being shared includes police reports, legal filings, first-hand testimony, public recordings, backed by evidence-based narration, that's not false light. That's just the light being turned on. It's ridiculous that I even need to waste airtime explaining this, but considering what you're about to watch, you will soon see why this video will invite mass flagging and threats of lawsuits. And although I can't control what mood YouTube will be in on the day that this drops, what I can say is that Trilogy Media does not operate from a basis of fear. We do only what we feel is the right thing to do. We will not be bullied into silence, and your threats of baseless lawsuits do not scare us. I know this is probably overkill, but believe me when I tell you that even dropping the trailer for this doc has caused the roaches to scurry. But more on that later. First, I want to introduce you to Shaylin and Chris, two victims of the McKamey Manor cult who, against all odds, escaped and exposed the abusive, sadistic, and fraudulent behaviors of Russ McKamey.
Well, when I started watching him, it was like 2020, I think. Obviously, I was interested in like the Manor side, like everything looked so crazy, and then in the back of your head, you're like, could I do that? Obviously not, but could I? I guess kind of left it alone for a few years, and then I started watching this YouTuber Reckless Ben, and he did like a series on it about how it's all a scam, and I'm like, what do you mean?
I was from 2018 to 2020 Russ's right-hand guy. I ran all his social media. I screened the people to come in. In my head, he had me so manipulated that I didn't see the scam. I did not see what he was doing to be wrong until after I was out of the situation and I stepped back.
I should say he was more than his business partner. He was his best friend.
Yeah, I mean, we hung out. We, hung out and didn't just talk about the hunt and would travel together and that. We were close. There was a personal relationship there, you know?
Two brave souls who at one point were rivals found their way together to take down a manipulative, woman-abusing scammer, all of which somehow inspired by their independent fandoms of Trilogy Media years ago. What the fuck?
We've been watching you guys for a really long time, so it's awesome.
The scam is you can win $20,000 if you show up at this manor. Now, you're probably not going to make the timeline because he says you got to start a clock and then last 8 hours, right? Thing is it's impossible to start the clock. The stunt that you have to do is impossible to get through.
Shay has been a fan of Trilogy Media since 2020. She was very active in our community from almost the beginning, commenting, sharing, and even posting cosplays of one of my live stream characters, Diana Diagonal. We were just talking yesterday about your Diana Diagonal cosplays. But it wasn't until February 21st of this year that Shay left this super chat on one of our live streams. After watching y'all for so long, I ended up dating a scammer. He ran the world's most extreme haunted torture house, and I still fell for it. Trilogy raised me better. Shaylin, good to see you too. Nicole Williams, after watching y'all for so long, I ended up dating a scammer. Oh shit, you ran the world's most extreme haunted torture house, and I still fell for it. Trilogy raised me better. I gotta hear that story, Shaylin.
Wow.
Now, as soon as I read this on the live stream, my first thought was, is she talking about McKamey Manor?
Can you please send us
World's
email?
Most extreme haunted torture house. It's not the McKamey Manor, is it? Shaylin, please email us. I would love to hear that story.
Would love to know.
No fucking way.
He focuses on people who are struggling financially, who are willing to do whatever it takes to risk it all, pain, suffering, use the last few dollars to show up at his house to possibly change their life by getting $20,000. And that's how he manipulates the people. There is no haunted house. That's the thing. There is no haunted house. It doesn't exist.
If you do get past the point on the clock, he'll wait till you quit and then tell you, oh, you just had 2 more minutes. And he's told me over and over, a lot of people won. And he just told them, you were just like 2 minutes away, 5 minutes away.
I had heard the stories, I had seen YouTube videos, but I had never known anyone personally to even go to McKamey Manor, let alone date the owner. So right away, I knew that we had to look into this more. Now, we are not the pioneers of exposing McKamey Manor. Far from it. We're actually quite late to the party, to be honest. Many YouTubers have covered this place, infiltrated it, exposed it for being a scam, and there's even a Hulu documentary about it. And the contestants don't challenge that? They don't be like, what are you talking, like, I made it.
Oh.
They'll have, and then they get thrown out and threatened with lawsuits.
Yeah, so a few people, I would say, for the longest time until the documentary, when you go there, you are told that the waiver is part of the show, right? So that's one of the big questions. Everybody says, why would you do it when you read this waiver and all the things that happen? Well, you're told this is all part of the show. This is part of the mind game. So you overlook all that stuff. But the part of the contract that he tells you is very real is the $50,000 non-disclosure so that you cannot talk bad or tell anything that you have gone through. And he threatened you right after. Remember, you speak out about this or say anything, I'm suing you for $50,000. And remember, most of the people that have gone there are on their last leg of money financially. They can't risk it.
But the doc came out in 2023. Shay didn't date him until February of 2024, and Russ wasn't arrested for attempted murder until July of 2024. And Chris Smith, featured in the Hulu doc, who's also close friends with Shay now, did his very own Trilogy Media inspired confrontation of Russ back in March 2024.
Of course, by this time, I'm following you guys, and I'm like, these guys go after the scammers. I love it. So I find out Russ is at a convention. I was like, I am Trilogy Media. And so I show up with my cameras, and I confront him live, and I follow him for 20 minutes, me and my buddy Brandon.
Which just so happened to be the same day he met Shay in person when she was on her first date with Russ at a horror convention. What the fuck?
Let me just say, this was me and Russ's first date in person. And they didn't know that.
So you are on a first date with him and you are confronting him at the same time?
Yeah.
We made official on Valentine's Day last year.
So from January, February of last year up until when?
July, when he got arrested.
Were those charges about you?
Mm-hmm.
Because the articles that I'm seeing don't name the victim, the person.
Yeah, it was me. I was living with him.
Now, if you've never heard of McKamey Manor, that's okay. I'm gonna get you caught up. But if you're wondering, why the hell is Trilogy Media covering this, and why now? Well, it's not just because Russ McKamey is a scammer, a liar, a torturer, and a woman abuser, but it's because possibly his worst crime of all happened after all of this coverage. And it turns out Trilogy Media has had a direct influence on the entire chain of events for the last 5 years, and we didn't even know about it.
I lived at the manor, so I saw like what it was in Tennessee. It's just such a scam. Like, it's nothing like the videos. You basically just work out in his yard, which is like a fetish of his, is people working out. So it's literally just all for his like pleasure, and that's kind of how he dates people. He uses the manor to basically find people to date. He kept trying to get me to do the manor when we got in a relationship, and I kept saying no.
Yeah, have you guys met in person?
Just when I confronted her boyfriend.
That's obviously, yeah.
And now look where we are.
Oh my god, yeah.
The irony.
But since you've been friends, you haven't.
No.
Like a reunion post-cult, almost.
Yeah.
Like we could even.
Yeah, it's a first date.
And Teddy Bear, when you're gonna come, I'm gonna give you a 2 liters of honey. You know?
They'll just.
Vinnie Pooh!
Oh my god.
There you go, and you hit the honey!
So we needed to learn more. We needed to hear this story face to face. A Zoom call just wasn't gonna do it. We're gonna fly out Chris and Shay to our studio in LA to not only hear their story face to face, but reunite them for the very first time since they first encountered each other on opposite sides of the cult. 1 year to the day, as a matter of fact. And no, it was not planned that way.
Can you scoot back a little further?
No.
Nope, he's done.
I don't want to do any of this. Russ, please, just...
Okay, calm down.
Why are you here?
I was a big part of the McKamey Manor lore. And because of Trilogy inspiring me, led a movement to put a stop to Russ and his shenanigans. It originally started as a home haunt. A Boo-style maze haunt that you could go through, but it's ran at your home, so there's no restrictions. You know, there's no insurance, no charge, neighborhood people, and that's how...
Great way to start.
Yeah, and so that's... Yeah,
they had kids working with them.
Yeah, it was neighborhood kids working.
That he had a crush on.
So that's how it started, and then it slowly grew, and he made it more and more extreme.
This is just the beginning, you understand that, right?
A lot of people label it as an extreme haunt. I am a fan of the immersive and extreme haunt world. It is not an extreme haunt in any way. It, in fact, gives a bad name to actual extreme haunts because that's what people associate it with. This is a place to be in his fetish and scams them out of money, scams them out of their time and their humanity. I mean, he makes them a joke. It was in San Diego. It was the neighborhood kids it started out with. All the neighborhood kids would work in the haunt.
And it was family friendly, right?
No, I would never say it's family friendly. So from the outsider point of view...
It's not a pumpkin patch walkthrough.
Right. From the outsider point of view, I thought, okay, it wasn't extreme. It wasn't too bad. But after interviewing people that have gone through, he would have kids holding people's heads underwater. I mean, these are just teenagers teaching them how to do this stuff. One of the kids that work there, 14 years old, without a parent's signature, she has stories. She's done an interview with me where she was chained up, put in a cage, and put underwater while grown men poured water over her repeatedly.
So there was never a time where it wasn't physical touch. Like it was always right
physical
from the get-go.
touch. It started out with little like ankle pinches and ankle grabs, and every year it became more and more. People were getting hooded, people were getting duct taped on their eyes, real aggressive touching at that point.
And people knew this going in, like that was, like they marketed it that way?
Oh, they marketed it as a home haunt, and anybody in the neighborhood could go. And you would be told you cannot tell what happens. It's only going to be people's reactions to get you to go. I've talked to past people that went through, and they said, you know, that was the intrigue. You see people coming out all disheveled, and you'd say, what happened? They'll be like, you just have to go through. I can't tell you. It won awards. The first few years it was open as the most scariest haunted house. And that was, you know, when the kids were there. It didn't get really violent until the kids got removed. Every group he has filmed from the start. There's never been a tour that he didn't film.
So when I'm dead and gone, my movies will still be out there.
Once it got into the extreme ones, there was a thing called a bounty that started coming out. And in San Diego, it was like win $1,000. Once he left San Diego and lost his actors, then there was a prize bounty at $20,000. And that's where you get into the whole...
If you make it through.
If you make it through. And that's where everybody's like, well, yeah, I'll take some pain for $20,000. That'll change my life. They can't kill me. San Diego started early 2000s and then grew all the way up until 2017 he left San Diego. His actors left him because they started having questions about the contract and if it covered them or not. He also split up from his girlfriend at the time, who took half of everything, took all his props, because she paid for everything.
Were you involved in San Diego?
No, I was never involved in San Diego. 2018. He was in Tennessee, so that had been going for about a year. A movie called Haunters Are the Scare came out. It was on Netflix. I was between jobs at the time. I was doing some graphic design. I had a logo that I was working on, and I was like, what am I going to use for this? And I saw Haunters was playing in the background, and I started watching. I was like, this can't be real. I need to talk to this guy. So I put McKamey Manor on the logo, and I send him a message like, hey, free logo, I just want to do an interview with you. It was like 5 minutes. He hits me up. He's like, I love the logo. What else can you do? Can you do film editing? I need help with film editing. You want to take a tour? I can get you in a tour right now. At first, it was like, cool, yeah, I'm in a Facebook group. Yeah, that'd be cool to do some video editing and that for you. It was fun. I like doing that stuff.
And as far as you were concerned, I mean, this is all good and legit, and you were just into it.
Yes, because like I straight up, I was asking him stuff. He was like, well, you're a smart guy. You know it's all smoke and mirrors. Seeing some of the footage, there is certain things like his shots. The haunt doesn't exist. It really doesn't.
Did
it's
it
just
ever?
No, it's always just been in his backyard, and he chooses great angles to make it look like there's tons of stuff going on.
From the outside looking in, you see this horrifying horror movie, crazy screaming, high production value kind of experience depicted on screen. It's all horseshit.
It was in his backyard in San Diego. Like, you never actually went into a house. You went to the garage maybe for a minute, but you were always in the backyard, and it was only like 56 feet long. The way that he would make it go long is he would blindfold you and walk you through like a maze, and then take the blindfold off of you and make you go back through it again, so it was like double the length, which later he caught on, well, shit, if I just blindfold him the whole time, I don't even need a haunt. So now you just go into his backyard.
How can he thrive on the word of mouth publicity of the experience of people's testimony if they're aware of how much of a sham it is?
So there is a non-disparagement agreement, which he threatens you with for $50,000 if you talk shit.
Remember that, kiddies. If you're going to get beat up in a safe way.
In time, I mean, that doing those videos and that built into a friendship where we hung out. We went to conventions together, played video games together. Like, we were friends. He puts up a very good front.
Yeah, it's like which version of him are you talking about?
Yeah, so there's 3 versions of Russ. You have the Facebook persona where he's a nice guy, everybody loves him, he's joking around. You have the show one where he's the bad guy, he's the scary guy, and you would think that that's the one to be afraid of,
yeah.
Right? The real one is the scary one. When you quit, which everybody does, he takes your onesie from you. And in his barn, it's like a serial killer. They're all lined up on the walls.
Where does the onesie come from? He makes you wear that?
Yeah, you have to buy it. You have to buy it and wear it.
It gives you like a shopping list, right? Before you go, which is
scam.
Mind-boggling.
Another one.
He's not going to waste his money. He says, I put so much money into this show that you're coming out to.
That's how mean I am. I do all this, put on this $500,000 show just for you. What a horrible guy I am. Ugh.
And no one asked him why he has a 22,000 person waiting list. He's not monetizing an entrance fee.
People ask all the time, and he says, because you know what the feds would do to me if I was actually charging.
Because then it's a business.
He'll tell you when you lose. If you would have just lasted
20
5 more minutes, 20 seconds.
You're
so close.
Like, it's just
close.
You would think that he would be like afraid of people discovering that it's not real. But like, he's bringing people in, he's not making money on it. What does he want? Like, he doesn't want people to discover it's not real.
To get off. He wants to get off.
Just torturing people.
Yeah.
That's his pleasure.
Having people
This is exactly.
beg and scared and cry, and he wants to push them to the point where they're literally not themselves anymore.
He would never give me the raw footage. It would already be edited. And then he would ask me just to do like color correct.
The final touch.
Stuff on the side.
And are you aware at this point when you're doing the editing, are you aware that all this shit is like staged?
At this point, I know the haunt doesn't exist.
And you're okay with that?
Yeah. I mean, in my head, I didn't connect I didn't look at the amount of money people were spending, and I'm thinking people are going through. So I used to also do his screenings, and so I would screen the people, and when I went through, I always said, if you're doing this for the money, don't do it, because you're not going to win the money. And to me, I felt like that was me clearing up, you know.
Did he know what you were saying during the screening?
No.
So it's something like out of your good heart.
Yeah.
Like, hey.
And what did contestants say back to that? They'd be like,
and people would be like, no, I definitely know I can win the money. And I'd say, no, listen to me real careful. Like, you can't win the money. But then you would get somebody who'd be like, I really just want to go for the experience and do it. And I'd be like, all right, well then, cool, you can go, you know, as long as you're not doing it for the money. So I had blinders on for a long time. I always believed what he said. I never went and looked for myself because he was my friend. I trusted him.
And what was he saying specifically?
Oh, don't listen to those. Nobody actually got hurt. Those videos were all staged. You know, everything was fine. They're just haters. They're just wanting attention.
Well, they signed it. They wanted it.
Yeah. I started seeing that, and then I started getting mentally abused. It would be, I need you to start calling and don't stop calling my ex until she comes back to me because I'm going to kill myself. And
calling his ex for what?
Because he needed her. He needed her back in his life. You gotta work it out. Because she's not listening to me, she'll listen to you. And if you don't, then I'm just gonna end my life. And I remember one time being like, dude, I'm calling the cops. He goes, okay, well, you call the cops and I'll blow my brains out before they get here, and then the blood's on your hands.
Oh my God.
And then the phone calls started happening. Once he didn't have his ex with him anymore, then I would get the 4 a.m. phone calls where he would call me and say, tell me nothing means nothing. Please tell me nothing means nothing. And I'd be like, what are you talking about, dude? And he'd be like,
that's his thing.
I had a dream about a child, and I need you to tell me that it was just a dream and nothing means nothing. I need to hear it. You know, he was sexually assaulted when he was a child. And so to me, when I was told to say nothing means nothing, it was PTSD from that past. And at first I thought, okay, maybe it is. So I said it, right? Still, I felt dirty as fuck saying that.
Of course.
But then there would be more phone calls asking me to say it again.
Was it always about the
kid
dreams?
It's only about the kids. He has to hear nothing means nothing, or else like his OCD just goes crazy. Once those calls started coming through, I was like, I can't handle this. I really backing away and doing my own research finally. There was a person named Lori Brotherton that went through in San Diego, and her photos are horrific. She's almost unrecognizable. When I reached out to somebody to ask if those things were true, if it happened, and I found out they were real, I went to Russ and I said, Russ, look at this woman. Look what you sat there and you let your gang. She is beyond unrecognizable. So I said, Russ, how can you do that to somebody and be good with it? And that's when he said, anything to get that shot. Her tour has never been released. One of the few tours to never have been released. From my interview with her, I've heard that they forced her to drink her own urine. They chained her up. They had her walk through bushes that were all thorns. They had her crawl on her knees through asphalt, and then they had her bury herself alive, along with being fish hooked many times and slapped.
When you go to a hospital in this condition, and you have to fill up the paperwork, they're always asking, you know, like,
what the fuck happened?
What the fuck happened?
She would not tell them the answers because she was being threatened with a $50,000 lawsuit for talking, and she ends up taking off out of the hospital and running out of there because the cops were called.
You gotta figure, we've been doing this for 14 years and nobody has gotten hurt.
And she was afraid she was going to be sued because she couldn't afford a $50,000 lawsuit. That's the thing. These people are going in to win money. They already don't have money. And when you are being told that you're going to be sued for $50,000,
I don't got it. I'm alive.
You already
I'm
broke.
I'm not going to even talk. You're right. I'm done. I sent him the pictures of Lori, and I said, explain it. Tell me how you allowed this. And he was like, well, I didn't do it. And I said, no, but you filmed it. You sat back and watched as she helplessly became like this, as she was beaten by your friends and instructed by you to be beaten. And I said, so tell me, explain to me why. And that's when he said, do anything to get that shot. And I said, then this is where we end our friendship. And I hung up the phone and I was done.
And he didn't, did he try to reel you back in? Did he call you?
No, he called me one other time because I was the only one that knew how to reset his escape room. And he asked if I could give him a walkthrough on it.
What?
Everybody is his tech support agent.
So he
just tell me you didn't.
Did you do it?
No. Yeah.
I'm done. I'm out. I leave the group. I decide I'm not going to talk about it because I'm scared of the 50,000 too. Because he does tell me, hey, just let you know, when you turn hater on me and you're going to hate me, I'll sue you for $50,000.
What a fucking amazing friend.
Wow.
What a friend. I'm gonna fucking sue you, Ash. You bitch.
Wow.
I bounce and I start horror road trip. I say, okay, I won't talk about Russ. I'm only going to talk about the haunts that are out there that are good. This is what I'm going to push and get people into and take that legend away from Russ. For years I sat on it because there was always people speaking out, but it would only be like 25 people watching, and it was the same 25 all over, and it's like, the word's not getting around. They're just risking being sued, and nobody's learning anything new. Hulu approaches me. I was like, do you want to tell your story? And I'm like, this is it. This is it. And I went to my team, and I was like, you guys, this is the one time that we are going to have a platform for all the people out there that have maybe heard of it a little or never heard of it. We're going to be able to warn them. We need to go in this full throttle, non-stop, and we are exposing everything.
Ready? Come on in.
By now, you're probably starting to understand why we decided to cover this story. But believe me when I tell you, we have barely scratched the surface. But credit where credit is due, we may not have ever even heard of McKamey Manor if it weren't for the creators before us that have already done a deep dive exposing it. And one of the best ones you can find is done by a YouTuber named Reckless Ben. Ben has an entire series on his channel where he investigates, exposes, and infiltrates McKamey Manor by going and doing a tour himself. It's very thorough, enlightening, and depicts some of the best trolling of anything I've ever seen. Seriously, you need to check it out. But judging by the comments under our trailer for this doc, many of you already have. Well, we didn't want to spoil the surprise too early, but considering Ben's series was such a major catalyst in Chris and Shay's story, we thought, let's invite him to the interview. And being the cool cat that he is, he actually came. Keep watching this video to the end for a special appearance by Reckless Ben himself, along with his girlfriend Lydia, as they recount their face-to-face encounters with Russ McKamey himself. I do also want to mention, before we get too deep into the darker parts of this story, we did reach out to Russ, asking for his comment or response to the many past and present allegations being made against him. And not only did he respond, he sent us a 10-minute long voice clip, saying some of the most unhinged shit imaginable. And despite his warnings, I'm going to play it for you in its unedited entirety later on in this video. And last point for now, I want to give an extra special shout out to the sponsor of this video, Surfshark VPN. We would never be able to invest as much time and resources into the stories we tell if it weren't for loyal and supportive partners like Surfshark. And if you're new to our channel, Surfshark was in fact one of our very first sponsors on the channel. Browsing the internet with a VPN or a virtual private network is more crucial now than it has ever been before, especially if you ever use public Wi-Fi. With a single click, Surfshark will mask your real location and your IP address, allowing you to browse the internet privately and securely. No matter how many devices you have, one subscription with Surfshark covers them all. Plus, with Surfshark, you can change your virtual location in the app anytime you want, which also lets you unlock content online that might otherwise be geo-restricted to you. By using our link surfshark.com/trilogy or by using promo code TRILOGY at checkout, you're going to get 4 extra months completely free. And Surfshark backs it with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. If there's one thing I hope you take away from our content at Trilogy Media, it's the importance of protecting yourself online. Using a VPN is just one of many tools for keeping yourself safe online, but it's a pretty basic one. And thanks to Surfshark, it's affordable too. Go to surfshark.com/trilogy or use promo code TRILOGY at checkout and secure your online life now.
This has evolved over the years. What I think McKamey Manor's most famous for, like when people think about it, are like the late San Diego videos, where he had actors, which were just unpaid, violent men and women who got to beat people up for free. There was maybe 1 adult, 2 adults at the time, and then the rest were all kids. It did start off as a haunted house, though. That's the crazy thing. It did start off as a manor. McKamey Manor haunted house, you know, it was that in the early 2000s. And really cool props and kind of got a little notoriety from it. And then once the kids left, shit got dark. Then you started seeing him pushing and pushing and pushing that envelope further and further and further. It's all about the camera and the film and him being in control. I think the scam has always been the lie about the prize money. That didn't start until the later San Diego days. Keep that in mind. He has never intended to ever allow anybody to finish. Whether it was brutally being hurt, you're not getting that prize money. So I think it's the infamy. The scam is that either you're going to get money that you're never going to win, or you're going because you think you're going to be in this awesome extreme haunt. But for the past however many years, it's just been a yard with a hose and some cages and that's it. So people fly from across the country, from different countries, to end up in someone's front yard and get like glitter and maybe they'll be like, that maybe it was worth it for them because they got to meet this infamous person. But for most people, they go through and feel like how Brandon did, like it's a scam. And Ben, I think said the same thing. I think it is a need to control and have somebody's life in your hands, like knowing I could take them away at any moment, even if it is just with a hose. And then if you have any problem with it, whether you feel you were held against your will, traumatized, hurt in ways you did not consent to, or scammed, if you have any of those problems and you say anything about it, you are then harassed relentlessly by his mob. We just call them cult members at this point. And the documentary, I think, did a great job last year, but it didn't do enough. People wonder, like, what attracts people to come do something like that. A lot of your audience is probably wondering, who are the kind of people that do these extreme haunts? Because there are extreme haunts out there. McKamey Manor is not an extreme haunt. I never understood it until I became friends with Chris, and he became my best friend, and I had to kind of figure out where this came from. For some people, it's the only way to really get a thrill and get that adrenaline because nothing else gets to them.
In 2018, I went for my first tour. At this point, he starts telling me the secrets, all the different mind tricks and all that.
Why did you go into it the first time to do it? Did you want to, or?
Yeah, it was the pressure of because at this point I'm modding. Everybody's always asking me when I'm going to go, and it'll be so cool to see you go through. And he's like, just come, it's all fake.
Is it kind of like initiation? Like you have to go through
it?
It's kind of like to
So
get
if it's all
accepted?
fake, why would he care? Why would he want you to do it, or why would you want to do it?
For the footage, to have the footage, because you're going to be the Christmas. It's going to be the best movie that I've ever filmed, and you're going to be the star of it. And I need you because you know it's fake, so you'll be able to go a long time and to get through everything. And so that's what he does, right? He gets you there with that. I'm sure he tells everybody that exact same story. Gets you there, and you go through one or two things, and you're like, oh, that was fake. This is really cool. And then he's like, I want that shot. So now, anything I told you was a lie. He told me that there was a film crew coming. It's a pilot episode for a McKamey Manor TV series, and they had a young woman that was going to be there, but he knew she was going to tap out right away. So he wanted me there so that I could go longer and they could get more footage because I'm on the end. So I show up, guess what? No film crew, no other person going through. And he's like, well, you're here.
So if you're here,
let's do a tour.
Let's just,
right?
let's
like
do
we
it.
get some really good footage because you know this stuff and I want you to be the first person through it.
You're both describing his personality and him trying to get footage on it's like try to get evidence on everybody. It reminds me of P. Diddy and what is it, Epstein? Epstein, when he was like, you're not gonna fucking say anything because I have everything on you. I have camera on you.
He knew somebody compared him to Epstein and he thought it was cool.
Oh my God.
Duct taped right away. Duct tape the eyes. You got these headphones on, just blaring this music track. And then he tapes a walkie-talkie to the side of the headphones so he can talk to you and you can hear him. I'm hyping it up for the camera. He was my friend, but there was still when it came to the physical pain, I didn't really trust that he wasn't going to try nothing. And so I had sewed BMX padding into my onesie. I get to a point, and I'm not being phased.
You're probably getting pissed.
He's getting pissed. So he's
Why
telling
does
me.
he like it?
He's telling me to crawl on the ground, and I have to find a bridge. So I'm crawling, and what I didn't know was there was a bunch of trenches. He had these trenches that his ex dug, and he must have been really pissed at this point because he just kicks me in my side, and I fall into the trenches. So I start crawling through the water, and I had to find a sewer drain. I find it. So I get the hatch open, and it's a 10-foot well. And this is where the scam aspect comes in, because I'm told that starting the clock means that you have to last 8 hours, and you just don't quit. And if you lasted 8 hours, you get $20,000. In order to start the clock, there's these numbers written all over, and it's like there's a lock at the bottom there that if you unlock that padlock, that starts the clock. As soon as I get down there, he shuts the lid but has a hose hanging in it, and it just turns on full blast and starts filling up. Within seconds, the padlock's gone. You can't see it. It's pitch black. There was no way of unlocking it. Now, let's just say, for some miracle, I was able to just randomly pick 3 numbers and I unlocked it, right? You would think, okay, the clock started. I'm going to win this $20,000. No, it doesn't happen because under that door, that hatch, is nothing but concrete. There is no more of the haunt. It doesn't exist. So it is physically impossible to start that clock to win that money because you can't get to the next part because it doesn't exist. He has to make you tap before you get there. And so I'm like, I'm done. And he was like, well, let's get buried alive. And I said, I told you, the one thing I do not want to do is get buried alive. He's like, I'm just fucking with you. Like, we're not really going to. I'm just saying it for the camera. He tells me, okay, so we're going to do a new thing. You know how usually I drag you by the chains behind the car? We're going to, because I don't want to keep doing that to people, we're going to put them in a horse trough. And I'm going to drag you, and it'd be like a mind ride. I believed it. I mean, that sounded like something that he would do. And he was like, so you just got to get in there. So I get in the trough, and he has a tarp over the top of it. And I can hear something hitting it. I'm like, what the heck? And I mean, I'm a big dude, and this is a smaller horse trough thing. So I'm on my side. I have like no way to get up real quick. And finally, he pulls the tarp away, and this dirt just falls on the lower half of my body, up to about here. At this point in the position I'm at, I'm at his mercy. I understand what's happening.
What are you doing? Blood and water. You like that? No. We're gonna fill up this entire little device right here.
He had told me that if I ever quit, if he didn't stop to start doing hand gestures. I forgot about this because I'm having
in the
dirt.
moment you're panicking.
Yeah.
So he says, if I don't listen to you when
Yeah.
you quit, start
Yeah.
waving at me?
Yeah.
We're gonna have a good time, Chris. Oh yeah. That is no joke. Can you breathe? Oh. Don't you panic on me. We just started. Oh. How's that feel?
No, I don't like it.
Okay, stay put. Tell you what I'm gonna do.
No.
Who's your buddy?
No.
Who's your friend? Who's your friend?
No.
Quiet. Shut up. Who's your friend?
I've at this point quit like 23 times. It's getting to the point where I can't even say I quit anymore because every time I open my mouth, mud and dirt
just falling in your mouth.
I saw the footage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be making sounds. You don't need to make any sounds. You're fine. We're gonna bury you completely.
No, I can't do it.
No, you have to be quiet.
No, I can't do it.
Be quiet.
No, I'm freaking out.
You're not freaking out.
I'm in there for another minute before he stops after I do that.
No,
You're fine.
no.
You're fine. We have hours and hours to go, Chris.
No.
You wanted to come here, Chris.
No, Russ, no.
You're fine.
No more.
Be quiet.
No more. I quit.
You don't quit. There's no quitting.
No.
There is no quitting, Chris.
No more.
Get my camera on it. Get my camera.
Serious, Russ. No more.
Camera on there.
Russ, I don't want no more. I don't want no more, Russ.
Relax.
Russ, I don't want no
Just
more.
relax.
No.
You're fine.
No, Russ.
You're fine. You're fine. Ooh, I got a little froggy here.
Russ, I don't want no more.
I know you don't want any more.
No, I'm done,
would?
Russ.
Who would want any more of this?
Russ.
Here. Who would want any more of that? I wouldn't want any more of that.
Russ, seriously.
Relax. You need to relax.
I can't.
Don't get up. Don't get up.
can't.
Don't get up.
Russ, I'm done.
Relax. You're not done.
Russ, I'm done. I can't.
You didn't do anything.
I can't.
Relax. Take a deep breath.
No.
Take a deep breath.
No, Russ.
Take a deep breath. I want to bury you completely.
No, I can't. Russ, I can't. Russ, I can't. I quit. Russ, I quit. I
There's
can't.
no quitting.
Russ,
Ooh, look at there.
no, Russ, seriously.
There's no quitting, Chris. We already know that.
Russ, please.
What? What is it?
I can't do this.
Have you had enough for the night?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Then say the quit word. Say the magic word.
I quit for the night.
Say, I want to know who you are.
My name is Chris Smith, and I quit. I quit round 1 of our 2-night tour. I cannot handle getting buried alive. You really don't want to do this?
Where he wanted to blackmail me was he would say that he had some really good footage of afterwards, saying that I faked that. I've seen the footage, and I'm like, I don't know anybody that would say that I faked anything from this footage. You see him, he reaches down, he pulls me out, sprays me real aggressively with a hose. Like, I mean, I remember that shit hurt. And he was like, were you acting? Were you really scared? And I said, dude, if you would have put another shovel on me, I would have been mentally done. And he was like, wow, then you're a good actor. It's like, no, like, I'm still fucked up. Like, but I thought I was going to die. one more, I would have been done. And I like laugh nervously. And that's like supposedly his big, for this investigation, like his big, haha, I got him. There's a lot more that happened that night that I haven't talked about. After I'm covered in dirt, like I'm covered in mud, and he was like, well, you know, stay the night. And I was like, all right, cool. And he was like, you can shower. I go to take a shower, and something in my head was like, something's not right. And I looked to the side, and the curtains, like when you see like curtains going down, you know, they're vertical lines, and on the side there was a gap, like a big freaking gap, like you could see right into where the bathtub was. And I was just about to take off my boxers, and I look and I saw the dome light of his car come on, and he's sitting in his car, and it's like straight on at the window. It creeped me out. So I leave my boxers on and shower. I had to get that mud off. But I was like, fuck it, I'm just wearing wet boxers. So I get out of the shower and he comes in. At this point, I don't know where to go. I don't have a whole lot of money to go and get a hotel. We're in the middle of BFE. I was like, all right, like I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to sleep. I'm planning on probably sleeping in my car. And he was like, well, you can sleep in this room over here. I had seen this room before, and I wanted the world to see it. And I go into this room, and it's a cage. It's a cage in the middle of a room. It was makeshift, so it had like part dog kennel and then bars. And it would bolt in the ceiling, bolted in the floor, and there was enough space for a person to walk all the way around it. The room was dark, so I didn't see everything in that cage, but I said, all right, I'll sleep in there tonight. One, to me, I knew I could lock that cage, and if anything happened, I had that. I said, but tomorrow, you need to, like, when you wake up, come in and wake me up live on camera and show people that I'm in a cage. Like, that'll be great footage. Yeah, he did it.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We were all inside, weren't we? Yeah, but now we're outside. Come on, everybody. We'll explain what's going on. I'll explain, then we're going to go wake up our guest. So the show last night, we had part one. Very interesting things happened. Some dangerous things happened. A couple of mishaps. Let's go see what's going on. Come with me. He's inside the dog kennel. This is where he slept at last night. Chris! What's up, buddy? Morning!
Oh, Jesus.
Guess what time it is?
Early.
It's torture time.
And what I didn't notice until watching that footage is there's a Home Depot bucket in the corner, like a toilet. Just chilling in there.
He came here to do the tour. He wanted
Came here to do a nighttime tour.
Well, we're going to do a nighttime tour tonight, but daytime we've got 12 hours of playtime. We're taking the tour. Look at him over here. He's just all trashed out. He's just set up. He's in a little cage.
I later asked him about that. He said it was a dog kennel. I've never seen any lives, or when I talked to him on the phone, ever heard these dogs being locked in a kennel.
So you never confronted Russ about that?
No. Oh, I felt dirty, dude. The trust at that point had been broken, and there's more to that day. After I woke up that morning, he was like, all right, we're going to do another tour. And I said, I don't want to do it. I'm going to go home now. He was like, all right, let's just get footage of you like quitting right away. I'm going to duct tape you real quick. And he was like, come on, we're just going to get you saying that you quit. So he does it, and I immediately have like a massive panic attack. I can't move. I'm having flashbacks of getting buried alive. I'm already in tears. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Just stop. Please stop. And he duct tapes my eyes, puts a hoodie on it. And I'm like, stop. I'm crying. And he picks me up and carries me into the barn. He put me on a table.
So tell people, you sure you don't want a bloodbath or nothing? You want anything?
No, I just don't even want to do that.
You want some glitter? You want a little makeup? You want some power tools?
No.
Nothing? Oh, shit! Watch out!
Stop!
Oh,
Stop!
Oh, just kidding. Okay. Okay, sorry. That's just the little rascal in me. I'm sorry.
Stop.
Okay.
Just get this tape off me.
Okay, hold on. Oh, you're okay. Okay.
And kept telling me that he was getting snakes to put on me. And I'm sobbing.
Tell you what, I want to see something.
No.
I got some snakes.
No.
How about just
No, Russ, please. I'm done. I'm so done, everybody. I'm done. 100% done. I quit. I don't want to do any of this. Russ, please, just...
Okay. Calm down. Okay, no, you're okay. You're okay. Open your eyes up. There, you're fine. You're okay. So tell folks how you're feeling right now.
I'm feeling horrible. I'm feeling absolutely horrible.
Your hands are like, look at your hands. Your hands are like, they're in fight or flight mode, but they can't go anywhere.
Oh, I just want to go. I just want to run, man.
Oh my God, we got some tears going in there.
Yeah, because
I know, you're okay. You're okay. You're conquering your fear right now. You are.
No, I'm not. I'm not conquering anything.
That is one of the only times when I do lose my cool on him. Because he goes, you having fun? And I say, no, I'm not fucking having fun. I don't want to fucking be here. Get me out of here. He's like, well, tell people not to come. I said, don't fucking come. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. Don't be here. This is not good.
So give a review. Give your exit review now. Everything's fine. Sean Foley. You talk to Sean Foley. He goes, Russ McKamey is the business. Call Sean Foley out. See if Sean Foley's going to actually show up.
Sean, don't show. Don't show, dude.
Because, Sean, we keep saying that you're not going to show up.
Good man.
All right, give a review. Give your review.
Dude, this is so scary. And I didn't even do much, man. You can conquer anything if you can go far here. I mean, if you can go a distance here, that's insane. You're crazy.
Turn it around. That looks like the publicity that he wants. You know.
You're all right, man. You're all right. All right, let's get you out of here. All right?
I don't want to.
All right. Come on.
He cuts one arm just a little bit loose with some scissors and says, well, if you want out, you can get out. And I had to cut myself out. I have cut going like that because after a certain point, I just wanted to be out so bad. I said, fuck it. I didn't even care. I cut myself to get out of it. Hopped in my car and I left and I never came back. Come to find out, there has been other shower instances with my buddy Brandon had one.
I first encountered Russ and McKamey Manor off of a documentary I saw on TV. I was like, this looks badass. I love haunted houses. I was like, I gotta go, but it's in San Diego. I can't do it at that time. Fast forward to 2017. When I looked it up in 2017, I'd seen that he had moved to Tennessee. It still looked like the same experience when you went on his website as he had in San Diego, and that excited me. I was like, okay, awesome. I'm going to reach out to him. I sent him an email. You know, a few days later passed. I got an email from Russ, and it was like, hey, if you can make it down at this time, come on. I was like, sweet. He told me to join the Facebook group. I joined the Facebook group. And I was excited. This guy, he was a retired Navy guy. I'd been in the Army. I was in the reserves, right, for 17 years at that point. It's showtime. You know, he sends me a list of stuff that I have to go get, and I spend all this money getting all the crap that I have to get for my show. I book my flight, book my Airbnb, rental car, the actual show itself. I was fucking bored, man. It seemed so haphazard. It was like he was making shit up as he went along. You know, at one point he just started painting a panda on my face. It was like 6 hours into the damn thing. The thing that I finally was like, okay, I'm done, is that he put me into this cage. The cage closed on top of me, and he started filling the cage up with water. And when it got close to like my face or whatnot, I think I started freaking out because I couldn't move. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. Get me out of here. But the show didn't stop then. He got me out, and then he kept spraying me down with water for the next, I want to say for about 10 or 15 minutes. He was spraying me down because I was all dirty. I was filthy. And then he took me into this other enclosed room, which I didn't get to see because I had duct tape over my eyes. He essentially kind of humiliated me in front of the group because he went live in the group and kind of made fun of me. That's when I guess the show actually stopped. I went there expecting the San Diego experience. I went there expecting everything that I saw on the YouTube. I went there expecting everything that was essentially kind of advertised. And what I got, in my opinion, was just this haphazard, lazy thing by this fat, out of shape dude that basically made his girlfriend at the time, her name was Holly, basically did anything that was active or anything that required any type of physical activity. He kind of made her do it instead.
When you leave, you don't just leave. You get harassed by.
So would you call this a cult?
Oh, it's 100% cult. You can't ask for any outside information. You can't question the leader. He praises the people to make it feel like an achievement as they progress through it. I mean, it's definitely a cult.
Have you ever get paid by him?
No.
So all of these that you went through.
Yeah, I lost money, if anything. I even did Hulu free of charge just for the point.
Have you ever asked for help? Have you ever received any help? Did you go to...
Recently.
And how did it affect your future after all this experience?
Oh, dude, I mean, I lost a marriage.
Talked to my wife this morning, and
She was freaking out.
and that got into my head, her freaking out. I know she don't want me doing this.
And your mom was freaking out.
I got obsessed. It got to the point where it was like I wanted to take him down, and she says that that's not the reason, and maybe in my head. Obviously, I know that I was absent, and I was absent because of this. Do I regret anything? I don't like that how I had to go and talk to his exes. I don't like that. And I've made amends with all of them, and they've forgiven me. So I could say that would be the only somewhat regret. Anything else I don't regret, because it wouldn't have... If I wasn't there, I don't think the exposure stuff would have happened. I don't think I would have had important people in my life, like my friend Brandon, Boston, Shay. I don't think that the investigation would have happened. So I don't have any regrets into being a part of this.
Good, because living with regret is pointless. Like that's good. That's really good.
How often do you have nightmares?
Quite often. Quite often. I did not really think that I had PTSD until I went to another experience, and they knew about the buried alive incident, and so they made a special scene for me where they put me in a coffin. And I saw it, and I was like, oh yeah, they're doing the buried alive thing, and they put me in the coffin, and it was game over for me. That was the first time that I realized, okay, this has really affected me, because I mean, in my normal life, I don't really have a lot of situations where I'm confined in a small spot. But yeah, I do have a lot of nightmares about that.
I don't know, man. It just left me with a really bad taste in my mouth. However, at the same time, me and him had been talking, right? And so I had felt at the time that I was becoming friends with him. So I didn't openly trash my experience at that time. Because he even called me afterwards. We had a long talk, and we had kind of bonded because of our military experience, and we were bitching about the VA or what, just regular vet type crap. So I felt like he was my friend. Not to mention, I was promised an additional experience on top of that one. I remember it was that Sunday, the day before I was supposed to leave. I got to go to another extreme haunt, which had partnered with Russ at that time, and it was called Kay de Silvis. And everything that I had wanted from McKamey Manor, I got at Kay de Silvis. So I was able to, at that time, justify this entire trip because of my experience with Kay de Silvis. Bunch of actors, very narrative based, really in your face, and when you were done and when you quit, it wasn't like we're going to make fun of you. Like, they all kind of gathered around me, told me how good I did. I got everything that I wanted from that. Everything that I was expecting, I got from Kay de Silvis. I didn't get any of it from Russ. I think I would have at the time had a more negative outlook on it if I would have come only because of the money that he was offering. I wasn't going because of that, so I never really gave that much of a thought. The thing that kept me around, the thing that kept me as a supporter even at that time, I felt like I was friends with Russ, right? Because Russ would call me all the time. Russ would message me all the time. He was a celebrity, essentially, right? This is the first, celebrity that I've ever known. Me and Russ had kind of stayed in touch, and he had kind of promised me a different show if I came back. He was like, I want you to come back. At this time, our friendship had kind of grown. Come on back, and when we're done, we'll get to go to all these other haunted houses. I was like, sweet. So I booked a trip down there. This one was even more haphazardly kind of put together than the last one. And that entire quote-unquote tour, which I hate that this dumbass calls it a tour, right? It's not a fucking tour. Shit irritates the piss out of me. That whole tour lasted all but 20 minutes. He seemed like he was ready to get on the road. It was because he wanted to go see all these haunted houses. He needed somebody to drive him to these haunted houses. And at the time, I was thinking, okay, awesome. We'll go to a few. I thought they were relatively local. Dude, no, they were not fucking local. We ended up in North Carolina. After going to go visit 5 or 6 of them, after driving for 14 hours and then having to drive back and literally changing drivers every 2 hours because all of us were falling asleep. One of the reasons why I wanted to go to these haunted houses is because Russ, he would say that you want to go with me because when I go to these haunted houses, I get treated like a big celebrity and whatnot. And I'm like, badass. Okay, cool. I didn't realize how true that was. Like, the first haunted house that we went to, it was this outdoor corn maze. And as soon as Russ arrived, we get out of the rental car that I rented, mind you. They essentially shut down the haunt. Holly's there, and basically Russ got to go to the front of the line. We got to go with them, and they're like, we got a special experience for you, Russ. Well, this is a normal boo haunt. A traditional boo haunt, they're not going to touch you. They're not going to grab you. They're not going to throw you around. These fools started grabbing me and Holly and just throwing us around and this and the other. Keep in mind, I'm having a good time. I'm not bitching about that. Then they started pouring buckets, gallons of blood on us. Like tons of blood on me and Holly, and Russ got a bunch on him too. It's like they tried to turn this traditional boo haunt into like an extreme haunt just for Russ. And Russ is filming the whole thing, all that bullshit. Well, we get back to my daggone truck. I tell him, like, hey, you need to wipe off. This is a rental car, right? And Russ and his fat ass and Holly, they get in the back of the truck without washing off, without using the towel that I was getting for them. And so they got fake blood over freaking everything. And I was really pissed at that point. Because I know his dumbass isn't going to help me clean. He doesn't clean himself, for God's sake. Anyways, I was trying to let that go because we had another haunt that we needed to get to. We finally get there. It's really late. We're one of the last ones to go through this haunt. Holly's exhausted. Russ is a little irritated for something. I don't even remember exactly why. So we start going through this haunt, and at the end, like he's trying to, like I hear him getting more and more irritated, trying to tell Holly, act out, not really act out, but kind of show more, right? Show that you're scared, because he's filming her the entire time and I'm behind both of them. And finally we get to like the end, and he's like, I can kind of tell that he's pissed. And when I turn the corner, he has Holly by the neck. And as soon as I turn the corner, he sees me, he drops her, Holly runs out, and he kind of goes after her. I hollered at him like right before he dropped there. I don't know if he heard me because it was really loud, but I hollered at him. He dropped there, and I was like, what in the fuck? I was getting the impression that Holly wasn't playing up for the camera as they were going through this haunted house. And that's what he wanted from her. And she wasn't performing for him. I guess he wasn't expecting to see me, but I think he was either going to threaten her or that was his, expression of frustration to her at that time. Either way, it was no excuse. He manhandled her. He accosted her. He was abusing her right there. That's when I cut him out of my life.
As little as we know, the choking became his signature move. Learning from Shay, from
early
others,
on,
from early on. That was his thing, to choke people and choke his girlfriends.
And see, I didn't know that at the time when I saw him doing that to Holly. I had no idea. I think he was tired, right? Because he likes to hide this stuff. He hides this stuff relatively well from the public. But yes, I didn't know that at the time, and I think he just let his guard down. When you're done with McKamey Manor, Russ makes you do all these exit interviews, right?
I didn't know if you guys were messing around anymore or what.
I didn't do one immediately after I did McKamey Manor. He hit me up separately. I was within a month of me doing my first tour. I'll never forget it. He called me up and said that Scott Franks, who is, I think he's a commissioner down there, is coming after him. He wants to shut him down. I need you to do this interview. And like, he was almost on the verge of tears. I need you to do this interview. I'm going to send you a list of questions, and I need you to answer it all positive and supportive and da-da-da-da-da. I was like, no problem, dude. I got you. And so I did. I recorded this this video where I was answering all these questions that he had given me to read, and I sent it to him. And so the doc comes out, and that's what he's using now is our exit interviews against us. Like, oh, well, these guys are all supportive afterwards. Da-da-da-da-da.
How about that crazy Hulu movie? Now, I had absolutely nothing to do with that movie because I knew from the very beginning it was nothing but a hate piece. What they either forgot or they didn't think I was going to bring up is that I have all these wonderful exit interviews.
No shit, Stain. We weren't. We were friends with you, and we were trying to do you a solid because you called up begging, almost crying for us to do it. The dude tries to eliminate that context out of it. It's not one of those mutually exclusive type of deals. Like, I can help you out then, but I can fucking hate you today. Doc comes out, Russ goes on Facebook to his millions of, sycophantic losers.
And again, I didn't need to post this, but I just got tired of all the nonsense. Who am I? I'm Russ. What does Russ do? He films everything. That's how mean I am. I do all this, put on this $500,000 show just for you. What a horrible guy I am. Ugh. And
starts, being the oh poor Russ. Everybody hates me. Everybody's so mean to me. A
lot of you don't know how sensitive. I'm trying not to cry now.
That's how he comes across, right? This sympathetic old dumbass.
But thank you for all those folks out there. I'm a very emotional person. But thank you for all those folks out there.
This is one of those stories that also brought me and Chris closer together. I didn't know that he had his own little shower story. He didn't know that I had a shower story. After the second tour, I went to go take a shower. And while I was in the shower, I went to the bathroom, closed the door, started taking, took my clothes off, got in the shower, was showering out. His bathroom is filthy, by the way. I mean, it's absolutely horrible, but it's a side note. When I got out, the door was wide open. The door was wide fucking open. I just got a really, really bad feeling after that. I was like, why is this door open? Because I know I closed it. For the longest time, I just blew it off. I was like, no, maybe I didn't shut it all the way. But I just got a super, super creeped out feeling, and it's never left me to this day. I've always remembered that, especially when I told Chris my shower story unprompted, and then he told me that he had one too, and then come to find out other people have had them. It's like, holy shit.
Did you never spent the night there?
No, I never. God, no. Oh, fuck, no, I never spent the night there. It makes you wonder. He lives in a trailer, right? These old.
It's not a house?
No, he lives in a trailer.
What? So
yeah, what the fuck? He lives in a double wide trailer.
I know everyone says the tour is all just people working out in his front yard. There never actually is a haunted house, but I didn't realize, I guess, concretely that there was no house.
No, there's not a house at all. It's a double wide trailer.
To first even get to the screening process, you had to get into the closed group. You got to get into this Facebook group. And to get in, you have to answer a couple questions. What's your top 10 favorite horror movies? Are you in any hate groups? For a while it was, do you know or befriend Chris Smith?
Oh, what? Wait, so like after you left, he put that in the screener?
Yeah. So the thing is with these movie questions, if you put any movie that has like a SA incident in it that's very graphic, then you are automatically banned from the group and not able to get in.
Yeah.
Why?
No Stephen King, because Stephen King wrote about kids having an orgy.
So even if it's part of the narrative of a movie that you like, he didn't want you involved.
You were not allowed there. He said because they will taint anything they touch.
Contaminate.
It's
part of the OCD. Contaminates you, contaminates him because you watched it and that relates to what happened to him as a kid.
And he's totally projecting
he connects
his own,
everything.
His own issues on
Yes.
that. So why does he hate you specifically so much?
I think because of what I know and the conversations I've had with him, and he knows.
He's just afraid. He just threatened.
Yeah.
This is the waiver that has San Diego's address on it. It's 23 pages.
Yes. So, no. So, it's actually the 40-page waiver because he blows it up. So that 23 pages turns to 40.
So he makes the text bigger?
Yeah.
He has to make things look bigger than they are.
Yeah,
His
I'm gonna go
expectations
there,
are...
but
That's exactly what I was about to say.
I love how the very first sentence already has typos. Form must be completely in its entirety.
What happens is person gets into the Facebook group. Then he'll message them like, if you're seriously interested, call this person. He'd give out my phone number. And then all of a sudden I get a random phone call from somebody wanting to go through and be like, Russ told me to call you for a screening. And I would have a list of questions here. And I was supposed to go through, and some are basic and they're all right. But then there's a few weird ones.
Oh, this is like instructions for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Start basic, phone number, address, email, how old are you, how tall are you, what do you do for work, your weight, do you know how to swim, do you have glasses or contacts? Tell contestants to bring eyeglass case, if applicable. Tell them not to wear contacts because they can get messed up and they'll be blindfolded anyway. Have you ever been in any McKamey Manor hate groups? If so, ask why they were in there and then use your judgment on that. What are your top 3 fears? Do you have any allergies? Do you carry an EpiPen? Why do you want to do a tour? What top 3 horror movies?
That's exactly
Write these down. We follow the guidelines for getting in the closed group for the most part. Usually give people a break if it's not too bad. Have you ever seen a Serbian film? Oh my God.
What is
That's
Serbian
what you're
film?
talking about.
Yes.
What the fuck is this?
I've never seen it. I probably will never see it.
Serbian film?
It's called a Serbian film, but it is notoriously the most graphic, especially against kids and infants, film on the planet.
I've never seen it either.
Have you ever seen a Serbian film? And then beneath that it says, if so, automatic no. I usually ask, are you sure?
I have to ask them several times, you sure? You're sure you're not lying to me? Because if you saw it, it's cool.
Have you ever been sexually assaulted or been a victim of domestic violence? If so, did you report it?
No matter what, even if you were sexually assaulted and you report it, he doesn't let you go through. He changes his mind.
Because you're contaminated.
Yes.
And you're contaminating everything. I would talk about stuff from my childhood with him, and we'd go get groceries, and we'd drive all the way back to the store and return them because they were contaminated, because I talked about my trauma.
Participant understands that if they violate this agreement, that agrees. The grammar in this is awful. to pay McKamey Manor $50,000 as damages. That's not even how suing works. You don't get an invoice. Participant agrees that during their tour of McKamey Manor and for 20 years after their departure from the tour, that participant shall not, through any form of communication with the press, public, clients, media, blogs, social media, disparage McKamey Manor in any way. Line item 93, participant fully understands that at many times during their tour they will be in a panic state of anxiety in which they will feel that they will drown and that they may die. Participant completely gives permission to McKamey Manor to put themselves in those situations.
That was me every day living with him.
There was one child actor that stuck around after. It's a young lady, Mercedes. She was 14 at the time. She was considered the only medical professional at McKamey Manor. So she had to deal with people having mental breaks, having broken noses, fractured eye sockets. At one point, they were sitting around and they said, "Have you ever taken a tour? Have you ever gone through it? You need to go through it if you're going to work."
A 14-year-old.
14. They didn't have her sign a contract, didn't have her parents sign a contract. 3 grown men put her in a cage and dropped it into a pool, a kiddie pool. So the water was going up, and then they proceeded, as she would get her face up to the bars to breathe, to pour water on her over and over again, and then tell her how horrible she did for not lasting.
And that statement came from Mercedes, right? From
Yeah.
her. So
When
she was like
14.
openly, she was like, "Look, this is what happened to me."
And he's not in prison for felony child abuse.
So I first heard of the Manor in like 2016 probably. At that time I wanted to go. So I was watching Reckless Ben. He's a awesome YouTuber, and he ended up doing a series about the Manor.
McKamey Manor. That's right. I just signed up for the most controversial haunted house in the entire world.
It reminded me of Russ existing. So I messaged him and I was like, hey, he was trying to get some of his fans to go and infiltrate. So I was like, hey, how do I do that? And he was like, I don't know, just sign up. And I'm like, all right. And then I started talking to Russ. He was doing a live stream and he told me to message him, which is kind of his MO. He'll tell people to send a video so that he knows they're real and their ID, but it's really just so he can see if he wants to date them or not.
So you sent him that video submission.
Mm-hmm. And then.
And how fast did he reply to you?
Oh, immediately.
Were you still in the mindset of, I'm going to go in and troll him, or were you actually taking an interest in
I was
doing this for real, or where was your mind at this point?
At that point, I was feeling it out, like, is it fake? Like, I wanted to know, like, everything been exposed. I wanted to know for myself. I don't know, we started talking, like, every day immediately, and we started flirting.
Had the Hulu doc come out?
Yes, but I hadn't seen it.
Okay. By choice, or you just didn't know about it?
I don't think I knew about it. Relationships were very new to me, and I didn't really know how to put boundaries and everything, and he could tell. He started asking me about, like, my past and, like, trauma and stuff, and said he wouldn't talk to me unless I told him everything horrible that had ever happened to me, which now I know was so he could use it to manipulate me. He came to St. Louis for Transworld, which is like a horror convention, which is when we met.
That was March of last year.
So you drove to meet him there at the convention?
Yeah, he came and got me.
And that was the first time you met him in person?
Mm-hmm.
How long is a drive from your home to the convention place?
4 hours, maybe?
And didn't you break up several times?
Oh, yeah.
in that drive alone?
Oh, yeah. We got, like, halfway there, and I always defend Ben because I love his content, and he's a good person. He wanted me to say that Ben was a horrible person. He had this, like, obsession with wanting me to say people were bad people, and I couldn't do it. I was, like, trying to explain to him, like, his point of view of, like, why he did all the things he did and why he would think it's a scam, why he would,
Is this all on day one when he picked you up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a lot.
So he's
all these happening in the car.
So you just met him an hour ago and he's already, like,
Yep.
you're already
demanding.
you're already
Yeah.
having a conflict about this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we had so many fights about Ben before that.
So how did Ben even come up? Did he know that you found him through Ben? Is that how that, like, why was Ben a factor between you two?
Because he was obsessed with the fact that Ben made content about him, and he found out that I watched Ben.
Because you had sent me like a couple voice notes and some recordings of him getting upset because you wouldn't denounce Ben. Was that on that same day?
No.
Okay, that was later.
That was like 47 times.
Life-changing shit that he's putting out there for the world. That's called slander and defamation of character. Does he know the facts? Does he know reality on any of it? Fuck no. So how can you, that's what he was told. Well, he was just given that information. He was told that. Come on now. He was told it. It's okay. He was just doing what he was told. He just thought he was doing, Are you fucking serious? That's okay to you? To destroy somebody? That's what he's done, God damn it. He has destroyed my fucking life. About shit that isn't true. None of his bullshit is true. Broken bones, torture, this, that. It's all bullshit.
So what's going through your mind? You're in the car with this guy.
My heart started dropping because I didn't know his temper, and he was being very loud, and I was getting kind of nervous. He literally turned the car around, and we drove all the way back to my house.
To do what? To drop you off?
Mm-hmm. Because I wouldn't say Ben was a bad person.
2 hours.
On
2 hours.
Day one.
You just met. You didn't wanna follow his dictatorship. He did fucking
not much to follow there.
So you did 180 turn, and he said, "All right, we're going back home."
Yeah.
And you guys drove for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Back.
I was crying, and
Great first date.
Yeah.
What a fucking day.
But you ended up going to the convention, so how did that happen?
We were like 5 minutes to the house, and he goes, "You're not fixing it." I'm like, I don't know how to fix it. Like, you want me to be someone I can't be. He was like, "You should be comforting me," which was very reoccurring all the time. I always had to be the one to fix it when I didn't break it.
So you're 5 minutes away from your house again.
I basically like calmed him down about it, and I wouldn't say Ben was a bad person, but I was like, maybe, he had good intentions. Maybe it didn't follow through in the perfect way, which was enough to appease him. So then we drove back.
So we turned around again.
So she's like, "All right, baby, all right, little lady, burp, another fucking 180, we're going back to convention."
Oh my God.
Hashtag first date.
How are you not late as fuck now?
We were. He canceled the hotel 4 times because of us breaking up over Ben 4 times.
What? Were you attracted to him, or was it the
There
way
was-
he made you feel? Was that the...
There was some attraction. I like guys that are older.
It's that Tennessee tooth.
Get out.
But how many years older is he than you?
40.
Jesus. But that wasn't a problem, obviously.
No.
Okay. All right.
No, I've not done the Manor. Thank God. After the documentary came out, I was very vocal, and Chris and I were on Horror Road Trip a lot. Everything gets back to him, right? So I was instantly labeled one of the haters. In fact, I don't know if Russ ever brought my name up on social media until Transworld.
In all fairness, I go to this convention every year. It's a huge haunt convention.
We had a feeling that he might show up. We didn't know that for a fact.
We were planning on going no matter what. We knew, though, that this was going to be the first year since the doc came out, and Russ always goes, too, that we're probably going to see him.
So who's we? You and...
Me, my buddy Brandon, who was in the Hulu doc, and then my friend Boston.
Glasses? Brandon?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my friend...
Ex-military.
Yes. Yep. And then my friend Boston, who does the Rise and Fall series with
I remember
me.
Boston, yeah.
There's a lot of darkness in the subject matter that we cover in regards to McKamey Manor, obviously. So you have to find the light in it, The lightness is the friends like that we've all made with each other, Reckless Ben being one of them. What's so weird is I never really asked him about McKamey Manor. So like years went by and I knew it was a thing. I heard people talking about it. And I think I looked up one video and was like, ew, that's kind of scary. And then I forgot about it. We were close friends at this time. And he said, oh, you know, by the way, there's this Hulu documentary. They want to interview me. I was like, oh, cool. Have fun. And then maybe like 2 months before it was set to be released, I was like, you know what? I should probably maybe know a little bit more about what you went through, who this guy is. We had, I want to say it was like a 4-hour phone conversation of everything, which I think at that point we were close enough friends that it was personal for me. I was like, we got to do something about this. I mean, the documentary is a great start, but let's really shut this guy down. Like, let's make it so there's no more victims, no one else can get hurt.
At this point, I've been following you guys and watching. We're in the hotel, and this has been 2 days Russ didn't show. We're like, he's not showing. Well, then all of a sudden he goes live, and he was like, I'm just about to the convention, and we don't even know that Shay exists.
He didn't want anyone to know I was with him because he had a girlfriend.
At this time, we don't know anything about Shay.
Shay was there, and we had no idea who she was.
This is the last day of the convention. Last few hours that it's open.
I was getting ready, and I could hear Chris listening to, I was like, ugh, is that Russ's voice? And he was like, yeah, he is here.
And I have to run like 3 city blocks, you know?
And it was cold.
And I'm watching his live feed, and it's like he got in there and hit the ground running. Like, usually he takes his time at each of the things, but it's like, go, 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 go. Because the whole time he's going through, he's like, yeah, I hear there's some people here that want to confront me. I dare these 2 people to come and confront me.
How did he know this? Did he know, was he talking
well,
about
he
you?
knows that we're always there.
Okay.
And so
the documentary had come out.
Yeah, and so I think he thought that we had left and he was just trying to act tough because he didn't see us in there. He's just running his mouth. I think 12 times he was like, yeah, I bet you they won't come up. I dare them to come up.
And I was like, please don't.
I get a hold of Brandon.
I was like, oh shoot, I gotta get ready fast then if this is gonna happen. Because on this stream, you can hear Russ saying, oh, it's so funny. None of the haters ever come up to me. None of the haters ever come up and, you know, ask me questions or confront me. They're all so scared that they run away. And so it was the perfect timing.
Russ is there. He's there with 2 other people. I'm like, oh shit, here we go.
I called Brandon up and I was like, be ready, dude. We're going live. And he was like, what are you talking about? I was like, if Trilogy does it, then we are going to do it. I was like, we're going live and we're going to confront him right now.
All right, we're live. Go.
We didn't know if Russ was even going to show or not. When the confrontation was happening, I was blow drying my hair at the hotel room.
I want to call him out in front of all of his fans because people will come up and ask for autographs, and I want to ruin every chance of getting any sort of autograph, right? We're looking all over for him, and finally, you even see it in the video. I see him at one point, I just start running towards him down the aisle.
Keep in mind, he was filming live the entire time, so we knew exactly where he was at, so we went right up to him. He asked us to come up and talk to him. So that's exactly what we did.
Oh my God! It's not the man.
I think I was watching it all go down on my phone as I was running from the hotel to the convention center.
I don't think he knew who it was at first because he's like, hey, like, because I said, hey, buddy, or there he is. and he's like,
you approach him with a kindness.
Yeah, hey! And he's like, oh, I got a fan. And he goes, oh, hey.
We went up to him, we started asking him some questions, and the second that we showed up, he put the camera in our face and did not say a single word to us and just pretended to ignore us.
I just have a few questions real quick. You don't want to talk real quick? No? I'll respect that.
You guys have a good day now.
All right. You have a good
We're
one
your
too.
biggest fan. He was there with this this younger female.
I had no idea what was going on.
Well, you don't know who he is because you haven't seen the doc.
Yeah,
right?
so I was like, oh, another fan. Oh, this is getting weird.
He won't talk to us, guys. He decides that he is not going to talk to me. He's just
That
going
was
to...
because I coached him that if anyone came up to him, to act super nice to annoy them.
So I start following, and I notice that she's following really close.
He goes,
and,
oh.
Yeah, you even hear me in the video. I'm like, oh. So this is, he's getting ahead of me, and she's walking slow and getting in my way.
But were you trying to put a separation between, like, were you trying to help him by blocking him a little bit?
No, he wanted me to film if anybody came up, but I was too shy and self-conscious, so I was like, Brandon kept moving out of my way, being a perfect gentleman, and then this guy was
We didn't have time for friendship. I was on a mission.
He was on a mission.
Yep.
Those scars look a lot like what happened in Dakota.
I was just humiliated because there were so many people there, and everybody's just watching like 4 people in a row filming this guy.
I also sell good makeup to hide all the abuse marks that you can leave on.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
No, they're like, what about the abuse marks on the women you date? And I'm like, I literally had covered on my neck marks. And I
But
was
not
like,
from him.
From him, yeah.
From that.
But how? It's
that
your
was
fucking first date. What the fuck?
Well, okay, all right.
Can we go back?
There's a hotel.
You're already being extremely vulnerable by being here. We have, of course, asked, and before we even did this, I said, I wanted to make sure that this wasn't going to create more damage for you, for your future. So, with that being said, keep whatever you need to keep safe.
Thank you.
But whatever you're willing to share, of course, you're safe here. Don't read the comments. We got you.
Yeah.
We
Squad got you.
And this fucker will never hurt you again.
Yeah.
But why do you have marks on your neck?
But was it a night? Because when you guys drove,
Well, you probably drove to the hotel and then.
It was nighttime.
And then there was the next day that you went to the convention?
Yeah.
Okay. So you had a night with him before this happened. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is so embarrassing.
It's okay. We're not here to. You were not being judged right now.
Well, we did some things. And then it got kind of violent. I had bite marks all over my back and on my neck.
Was this consensual?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. He did choke me to the point I had bruising the first night.
And we're considering this a first date.
And that was consensual.
Yeah.
So it didn't. You wake up the next morning, you're not like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. You're like, you're okay with this.
I had an overwhelming feeling of shame. Like something had been taken away in a weird way.
Why'd you decide to stay? Why did you not run for the hills after that first date night?
I kind of hinted that I was going to, and he started talking about killing himself. I started seeing what he was really like, and I was like, if I leave, he's just gonna get with someone else, and they're gonna go through it. So I thought if I stayed, then nobody else would have to go through it. I didn't feel like I had anything I could call the police for, because I was like, did I consent? I mean, I guess I did, because I didn't say anything. The guilt, worrying about him, because he would talk about his OCD, which is extremely bad. He's just haunted by all these thoughts, and only I can help him. He'll only go to therapy if I stay with him, which is part of what I struggled with to leave. Was I felt bad for him.
Bravo to them. I thought they kept it really respectful and brought up some of the victims, their names, and just made sure that he heard it, and we knew he heard it.
We followed him for a good 20 minutes.
Trilogy style.
I was starting to run out of
things to say.
I mean, at one point I asked him if he got a haircut recently.
Did you get a haircut? Because I wish that I could get haircuts, but I'm bald, so I don't need them.
One of my favorite parts of it is at one point somebody's trying to get like a picture with him, and I was like, you don't want a picture with the guy, and he was like, no, trust me, you want me to get this. The guy goes up and he gets the picture and he goes, look at this ass hat.
There we go. Look at this head. All right.
And they stamp the picture, and Russ just turns him. I all of a sudden see Shay. What did you say to him?
I said that was not a fan.
Yeah, and he was like, I heard what he said.
So I get there after the confrontation and I'm pumped up. I'm ready to go. And the boys have had their, they feel satisfied. And I'm looking around, I'm like, where is he? I gotta say something. I gotta say something to this guy for everything that he's done to my best friend, to countless victims, to women, to females specifically. And I see him walking down one of the rows. I walk as close as I can get to him. He was posing for a picture, and I stop right in front of him, and I smile, and I go, and I just flipped him the bird. He made eye contact with me, and he was not happy.
And you can see the live with Russ. He's smiling. He's like, somebody just flicked me off.
And I told the boys, because I was very, very proud of myself afterwards. And I look back at it now, and I'm like, I could have done a lot more.
Finally, this asshole that has been preying on people, who everybody backs away from and is always walking on eggshells because they're scared. We finally were just like, fuck you to your face. And I loved every minute of it.
That's when my name started coming out of his mouth. First of all, making the assumption that I was Chris's girlfriend, which is ridiculous. Sorry, no offense, Chris. But he is my best friend. We are practically family. Saying, oh, you have such low standards, Chris. And this is all, to his 30,000 Facebook fans. My nickname was dubbed, which I actually don't hate, but it became Boston Market because of my size. So a lot of fat shaming, and then like shaming Chris for dating somebody like who looks like me. Just ridiculous, because we are not dating and never would date ever. But it was hurtful, and it was the first time like I experienced an ounce of what some other people in the whole McKamey Manor saga have experienced 100 times worse online harassment than I did from him. And actually, I saw her do it a few times when they were later in a relationship and on lives together. If he was gonna fat shame or look shame myself or anyone else, she would nip that in the butt. So I appreciated that.
We have another one. Oh, that's her. There we got Boston Market.
Don't.
Oh, we do. We got Boston. Why do you do that?
Not on my channel.
Oh, okay. We only do that in private.
I don't do that at all.
You don't?
I don't make fun of people's appearance.
That's true, you don't. That's true. She does not do that. I'll do that, though. So I gotta show you a video that Chris Smith and his lovely, classy girlfriend, I guess they call her Boston or something. I'm sorry, dude, really? Come on, even you, Chris, can do, oh my gosh. But anyways, all right, I'll be nice. But how proud they must be, how proud Chris must be to have such a lovely person that would think it's so cute and funny to walk by as I'm taking pictures with people, to flip me off. That's their big accomplishment, people. Chris is so proud of her. Oh, it warms my heart. And she's so excited she did that. They really got me. They really got me with that one. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm kind of being mean, but this is how lame these people are, that they came all that way, right? And their big thing, their big accomplishment is his, I guess you can call it a girlfriend, whatever. I'll let you decide. You look at the video and you tell me what you think. But I'll be nice. I'll be a nice boy. I won't say anything. Whatever. I'm so tempted to want to say, I'm going to keep quiet. Hey, everybody has their own taste. Everybody likes who they like, right? I'm not going to shame anybody. Nope, that's not my place. So anyways, I'm sure Chris Smith is, based upon the video, is extremely proud of his young lady for doing the classy thing of flipping me off. They are quite a pair.
St. Louis is over.
Mm-hmm.
You go home, right?
Yeah.
What happens next?
I couldn't work for several days because I was very sore. Couldn't get out of bed. I was in a lot of pain. He was texting me and calling me, like freaking out because he knew he made me bleed. He was like, "Oh, you're gonna hate me now. Are you gonna turn hater? Blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "No, I just need a minute."
You're a hater. You're an LIC, low information crowd.
Low information
Yeah,
crowd?
LIC. Yo.
That's what he calls people that don't agree with him.
To my lovely haters, and you all know who you are. This is important because this is kind of going out to the low information crowd.
I took pictures at the hotel. We didn't break up because of it, because in my mind I was like, well, I didn't tell him to stop, so I mean, it is what it is.
We have a Facebook group specifically for anything McKamey Manor related, and she had joined the group and she started like commenting a few things, and it was nothing disrespectful, and Brandon responded and he said, "Would you be open to talking to us?"
Brandon reached out and he was like, "I'd really love if we could just sit down and talk to you, like on a call. You can give us your perspective, and we can give you ours."
She agreed, and for an hour we had this long, hour-long conversation.
Oh, she's here. Hello, hello. Is it Shaylin or is it, how do you pronounce your name?
It's Shaylin, but you can call me Shay. It's easier.
They did a phone call with her. She was so nice and sweet and open to hearing what they were saying, but 100% like, you don't know him the way I do, that kind of stuff, you know, very defensive.
The whole point of this is to have kind of an open-minded talk, because I really want to understand your perspective on kind of really just about everything McKamey Manor related.
In the Zoom call, I went into it with the expectation they would probably release it. So I said everything very social media trained.
When I reached out to him after Ben's video, I was completely on Ben's side at that point. I was like trying to find out what was really going on, and I don't know. Once I started watching his lives and stuff, I just saw a different person than what I had been shown.
Did he say anything to you after we left?
He asked if I was okay. At first, I didn't know what was going on because I was like, everybody was kind of filming him. So I was like, oh, it's another fan or something. And then I realized who you guys were, and I was like, oh, here we go.
There's a point at the end of the call where he brought up, actually, he has thoughts and masturbated to a child. I was like, what?
Telling me to tell him that nothing means nothing, that it's okay that he's thinking about this stuff.
It's been a very difficult thing having to, like, you know, he has something really horrible that happened to him, and trying to, like...
the stories he told me he was fantasizing and masturbating to.
And then the call ends.
You said it.
Wait,
Yeah.
You said that.
Yeah.
He had told you.
Oh, and the woman that he was dating at the time did a tell-all.
Had a
And
child.
She had a child, and he kept telling her that when he was masturbating, he thought of her child and said his
And
name.
saying the name.
But he would say that it's intrusive thoughts. That's where nothing means nothing comes in. It's intrusive thoughts. It's not real. It's not reality. It's just his brain tortures him with the most scary thing.
So then why would Russ want you to do that Zoom?
Because he was like, somebody will defend me for once.
And you did defend him.
I did. But I wouldn't lie for him either.
It started with her, Brandon, and Chris in a group chat. And I was updated. Oh, you know, she's actually dating him.
Because we didn't realize at the time that they were in like some sort of relationship. Like, we just thought that maybe that she was his good friend or possible girlfriend. It wasn't until the interview that we kind of realized that, you know, they were kind of together.
And then All my red flags went up immediately. I had covered and knew, of course, the story of several of his exes. I'd interviewed several of his exes, and I knew some pretty graphic horror stories, allegedly from these other people. And at one point I was like, you know what, Chris, tell her I'm going to shoot her a message. Maybe she needs to hear from a female. Maybe I can and at this point I was getting very concerned because the boy said she's actually considering moving in with him. Yeah.
I personally didn't think we'd ever hear from her again. Oh boy, was I wrong. That group message between Chris, myself, and her, she just kept it going. She was messaging us all the time. I tried to keep it was very lighthearted, very superficial, until at some point she started sending us voice clips. That was the start of a shit ton of messages that she would send us, and they were getting more and more disturbing.
I'm saying it's not fair, and just put it all on me.
I can't do it, okay? I can't do this, so I can't do this. I won't do it. I'm not going through this again. Not doing this again.
I don't know what you mean.
Everybody can have the big last laugh.
I'm gonna go inside while you cool off.
Okay.
Because you're being...
There you go.
I don't know why you're treating me like...
I'm not treating like anything. You keep saying she is my girlfriend. You say it one more time, I'm gonna lose my mind.
When did you move in?
April?
Before
April?
Yeah, April, I think it was.
I was in a kind of rough situation with my roommates. It just was a bad environment.
I imagine you told Russ about this situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was using that to pry you away.
Yeah, he was like, you don't have a choice. I'm coming tomorrow. I knew immediately it was a bad decision.
Why?
Because we argue so much.
So did he come and pick you up?
Yeah.
He just took you to Tennessee?
Hmm? Me and him live streamed a lot. Joy, I know you watched the Hulu documentary and all that.
It's all true, Joy. Joy. Everything in that Hulu documentary is true. Why you give me the evil eye?
Because I told you I used to work with her.
So?
I care about her opinion.
Well, I'm just telling her that everything in that movie is absolutely true. And
I know, but you don't need to come across as an
what do you mean,
ass.
I know nothing in that movie is true.
I'm just saying,
What?
be nice to my friend.
Why he was doing these live streams? Out of, is it monetization? He can like, his fans can like...
It doesn't seem like he cares about monetization.
No, it was...
all about
Attention?
the attention.
Just all about me.
the
It's me. It's
notoriety.
me.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
and he would be abusive towards me on live streams.
And we would be right there in the chat calling it out.
What you reading?
Comments.
From the jealous ones?
What?
Yeah. Huh?
What?
From the jealous ones? The ones that had no life? Where's my buddies that have no life out there? Where are they at?
She would always be live and he would be live. So he'd block us on his, so we couldn't comment on his, but we would be on hers. But we'd be like, do you hear what he's saying? Like, repeat what he just said to you. That is abuse.
So how did
Why would you do 2 live streams in the same house on 2 different cell phones?
Because he
Why not
wasn't on
together?
her camera enough, so he would go live.
Yeah, and I squinted because I need glasses, and he would get pissed off that I was squinting.
Why do you put up with that? That fat slob right there. That guy that can't get anybody. Do you realize that guy hasn't had a girlfriend forever, and when they do, they like roll out? Can you believe that? Can you let me ask you this. Can you see somebody being attracted to that?
Was it that you were scared of a possible bad situation? Because you kept
That was
reaching
part
out
of
to
it.
us.
Yeah, that was part of it. I watched the documentary after that.
In his house?
No, this was before I moved in. We were friends before I moved in.
Yeah.
So you saw documentary and you still moved in with him?
Because he told me it was all crap.
Why do you put up with her crap? And then there she goes, because it's the truth. And you just let her say it. So this is the problem. Take a side. Take a side. Do you see what I'm saying? And you let them continue.
I came over to be with you.
That's not the point. It's not the point. It's so simple.
We tried to talk her out of moving in with him. I mean, we tried really hard. We knew that there wasn't any talking her out of it. We came up with like codes, like if she was ever in distress, there was certain emojis she would send in a text. Or when she was
Secret
live,
codes.
she could
Tap my nose.
Yeah, you tap your nose.
If I was saying something that wasn't true, I'd be like... The biggest thing was I was afraid I was going to go missing and nobody would know because I didn't talk to anybody. He made it where I couldn't talk to anybody. He wouldn't let me talk to family or friends.
Did he ever like check your phone and check that stuff?
He tried. I would delete chats. I just wanted someone to notice if I went missing because nobody would have, which is part of why I did the live streams and stuff.
What are you talking about?
I'm not doing this. Fuck this. Like this.
What?
Let everybody think and do what they want, including you and Kelly and Nicole and everybody else. I'll be out of your way.
I didn't say anything.
I'll be out of everybody's way and everybody wins. That'll be good. I'm gonna be dead soon. You're right. I'm gonna be dead soon, Eric. You are right. You are right.
So I started recording because he started screaming at me in the car and was saying that everybody was right and that he was a horrible person and that he shouldn't be around and that he was going to go home and shoot himself in the head.
And you saw loaded guns, right? He does have guns at home, right?
Yes.
I'm not gonna be around anymore. So you do what you need to do, and you and all of you guys can get together. Whatever it is that you want to do, I give up. I'll be alone. I don't need this anymore.
I don't know why you're treating me like this.
I'm not treating like anything. I just can't do this anymore. It's mentally
Do
wiping
what?
me out.
Do what?
I can't. You know. You be on whatever side you want. Okay. It's not my side. So.
Are you kidding? Well, your gun is hidden, so whatever you're playing with that, you might as well stop. And you're making some weird statements, so what's your plan?
It doesn't matter.
That was the first time he got that aggressive. So I kind of just froze. Oof. I just couldn't move. And so anytime we had arguments like this, which was a lot, I would have to make it where it was actually because I was having an issue. I would be like, oh, this is my PTSD. So I just compare things in my head and I can't help it. Whatever I had to say to like calm him down, I did.
Yeah, I saw a lot where your buddy Boss Mark was trashing me and you weren't saying anything back to her. But we're here for you. Come back. You know, why are you even friends with them? Why? All they're doing is trashing me and your buddy Brandon and all that stuff. You don't say anything. Please don't put it on me that I'm getting frustrated that you're not saying anything.
As soon as I try, you show that
Shaylin, stop doing that.
He had friends who had 2 kids, and one was like 4, one was like 12, I think, or 10. He would say he was attracted to them and that they were just a really attractive kid. And I'm like, you need to stop fucking using that word. You shouldn't say that.
I need you to open the door. I need you to open the door. I'm hurting right now. Please open the door.
What do you want?
Open the door. Don't make me into a monster. I didn't do anything.
I'm not making you into a monster, but you're saying that's okay.
I'm saying it doesn't, in my case, it doesn't mean anything. How it happened to you, that's a different thing, but I'm not doing something like whatever it is you think. Stop making me into a monster. It's my fucking PTSD and shit and curiosity, and it's happened a couple of times. Quit turning me into a monster.
So like with these kids, like he would go on their family's social media and check to see if they were growing up attractive.
Oh my God.
And I told him, like, that's not okay.
Stop blocking me out. Stop it. It's me. Stop getting all discombobulated in your brain. No, that's not it.
You think I'm a good person, honey? You think I'm some kind of weirdo and sicko going after kids? Do you think that? Huh? And stop planting some kind of seed in my brain. I'm a good guy. I protect kids. Is me coming across her profile and I wonder if she's still cute. She was adorable when she was 2. I said, oh, she looks different now. So what? Am I tracking her down? Am I keeping tabs on her? No. Stop turning it into something. Someone looked at my kid when they got older. They go, they're attractive now. They turned out really pretty. No, because it doesn't mean nothing. Can I sit here for a second? Can you move? You're fine. You need me.
My cat.
Okay, stop. 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 Quit twisting things around in here. Stop it. It's not good for you to be locked in your room, getting more twisted around. Stop.
I need my cat.
Really?
Yes.
Need me instead.
I need my cat.
Need me instead. Oh. Get up. Get up. Get up. You're getting up right now. You're not going to lay in bed all day long. You might miss Brandon and Chris. You can go live and talk to them some more.
Why? So you can scream at me again?
Well, no, just so you can have your conversations with them.
So you can yell at me again?
Well, someone needs to yell at you about it, but you don't get that. Quit getting all psycho in your head. Stop it. Just go. Get up. Go wash your face and get up.
I gotta shower if we're going.
No, just get up. We gotta just go. We don't have time. I gotta do things like really fast. Wash your armpits and wash your face and let's go.
Can't you go without me?
You need to get out of the house. Okay, I need you to get back to reality land. Reality land's over here. Come on, I need you to get normal. Come on, get your brain normal. Come on. Get your brain okay.
It's fine till you said all that.
Okay, I didn't say anything. That's what I'm saying. I didn't say anything.
I'd be a different parent.
Okay, fine. You be a different parent. That's fine.
Not good.
Huh?
That's not good.
What's not good?
Because we're together and our parenting styles are completely
No,
wrong.
no, they're not. I have good parenting styles, but thinking that somebody who thought my kids were, they came across their profile and looked at, oh, they're really pretty, thank you, or they're really ugly, so what? Doesn't mean anything. Oh, I knew when they were little, they were so cute, and they're not so cute now. I'm curious. Oh, not checking. I just found their stuff and look. Oh my goodness. No, they didn't turn out so hot. It's curious. It doesn't mean anything.
You did check though.
What do you mean?
You did check.
I checked because I just came across their profile. I didn't track them down. So what? I was curious. Are they ugly or are they pretty? So what? Someone knew my kids when they were little and then they come across them. No, it doesn't mean nothing. And then they come across their picture and they're curious if they're attractive. So what? What's so big to see if they turned out ugly or fat or what it is, and then the other person in the family, how they turn out, and it doesn't matter.
So you checked both kids.
They were there. I knew them all. I checked looked at everybody.
How old was the other kid when you knew her?
I don't know.
Let me guess, like 10, 12?
I don't know.
Younger?
8 or 9 or something. They're all just family. Just saying what everybody looks like now. Big fucking deal. Came across and I was just curious. What do they look like now?
Because she was an attractive kid.
So what? I was an attractive little kid.
There's a difference between
What?
cute and attractive.
Okay. Stop!
All kids are cute. Cute
Okay.
and attractive.
Oh yeah, I forgot that word really does it to you. Okay.
Because attractive means you're attracted.
Okay.
That's what that means.
No, it doesn't mean that.
Oh
We've
my
had a
God,
conversation
look up the
before.
definition.
Okay, it doesn't mean that to me. So forget that word. No, I wasn't attracted to the 2-year-old. No. Is that the problem? The fucking word? So let me change the word. They were pretty. Take out the word attractive. Got it? Got it? That word is banned because it means something different to you. We've had
means the definition.
okay. Well, you're a definition of an idiot. I need you to get off. No. No. Get up. Get up. Get up. I don't care. Get up. Get up. Right now. Tired of this bullshit with you. Get the fuck up. Get up.
Stop. Ow.
Get up right now. Got it? Hurry up. I got things I gotta do. I'm on a schedule. Hurry up. I'm late. Hurry up.
What is this choking during the sexual intimacy?
He said he was gonna do it before we met, but I thought he was just talking. He said he was gonna kill me and bring me back to life. He said a lot of shit, so I didn't take him seriously.
You felt like you just took in crap.
Yeah.
Until you guys had first sexual intimacy.
But once I moved in, that's when
that started
yeah.
happening over and over and over.
Yeah, every other day.
And you started having seizures? Is it?
Yeah. So the first time I had a seizure was we had just got back from grocery shopping. Usually, if he was doing the choking thing, it was for sex. This time, we were just on the porch about to go inside, and he just choked me till I passed out, and I hit the grill because I went down. When I woke up, he was like, "You were vibrating like a lot," and I was like, "Vibrating?" And then I noticed my hand was doing like that, and I was like, "Well, shit." And then it just every other time, I had seizures from it. There was this one time, I haven't really talked about this. I was in bed, and he was hovering over me, and he used both hands and choked me. And I literally felt like I was sinking, down. And I had never felt that before. It's like I could still see him, but everything was like a tunnel, and I was just going down. Then I slowly started coming back up. It was like everything was dark, and I was freaking out. He told me that he thought I died. I'm pretty sure I was very close to dying that time because that was different. And I have nightmares about that feeling a lot, but I've never felt something like that before. He choked me so many times and it didn't do that. So I was like, something was different that time. When I ended up talking to him about it, he laughed at me. That's all he did. He just laughed. I was like, I think you almost killed me. I think I was dying. And he just laughed.
And in your mind, you're going through all of this so somebody else would not get hurt by you.
Yeah. Because I figured he would end up killing me, to be honest. Because he would talk about...
To kill you?
Yeah. The first time he started talking about it, we were talking about if he got arrested, he would kill himself before he would go to jail. So there was the conversation of him shooting me first and then killing himself. And then one of the times I almost left. I almost left several times, but this one time he was like, "Just tell me nothing means nothing. I thought about shooting you and burying you in the yard."
You want to take a break? Are you guys cold?
Can I use the bathroom real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Your nose is getting red and red. You're like...
Are you okay mentally, emotionally? I know this is a lot to relive.
Yeah, it'd be all right.
Hey, Shay. Would you be comfortable talking about the letter?
What letter?
That he had you write? Or tried to have you write?
Oh, the video?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's a thing that needs to be mentioned.
Yeah. He wanted me to make one before the hotel. At the hotel.
That early on?
Yeah. Before he would sleep with me, he wanted me to make one.
Saying what?
Saying that whatever happened was consensual.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Before anything happened.
Mm-hmm.
But it also said what? Because, there's... if you don't want
I'm
to
going to use the restroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'll... my legs.
First door on the left down there.
But no, so that letter is saying that if he killed her, he wouldn't be legally in trouble. And that if she accidentally died, then it was all an accident.
Did you make that video that night at the hotel?
No.
You told him no?
Yeah.
Good.
I was like,
Good girl.
He wanted me, like, when I moved in, he wanted me to make a video saying that if I died from him choking me, that we're just kinky. It was consensual. It wasn't his fault.
And did you?
No.
Never did.
Fuck no.
Good.
Dude, the guy has obsession
What the
of
fuck?
fucking choking.
The longer that she was there, and it started pretty quickly, we'd start getting concerning, like even more concerning messages from her.
The first time that I called the cops, it was May 16th of 2024. I think this was around the time that we got actual confirmation that she was living there.
Randomly, I think it was she like Snapchatted a few pictures, like, because we hadn't heard from her for maybe a week, and we were used to like everyday conversations.
On her Snapchat story, she had posted a bunch of bruises all over her, and we were really worried. And so when I saw that, I'm like, I'm not okay with that.
We messaged, no response.
I actually, messaged our little group text. I was like, I think we should call the cops. And so I did.
I was calling because I'm trying to make an anonymous tip, I guess, about an issue that's kind of come up. He has a girlfriend. Her name is Shaylin Williams. She's expressed his emotional and kind of physical abuse to me, and I just saw on Snapchat where she posted where she's covered in bruises. Some of the words that she used, and I quote, "He's threatened to kill me. He's serious about it."
But the cops were like, we can't go out there. Like, she has to be the one to call.
The problem with this is we have to have a victim.
I
She has to call this in. She has to be the one to make the reports, and she has to be the one to contact law enforcement before we can do anything.
And then we started getting updates about them fighting.
Shay and Russ had gotten into another huge fight. Like, she was almost recording the entire fight, and it was getting more and more disturbing.
Actual audio clips of voice recordings he sent her. And then we started getting recordings that she would just feel like unsafe in the moment and press record.
Leave me alone.
Open the door.
Leave me alone.
That was not the place to discuss that. Those people are vile. Those people are monsters.
Not everybody there was.
Don't give them all that information. They will use it against you.
It's not up to you if I share my own trauma.
Please open the door.
No, leave me alone.
We were basically getting these messages in almost real time. And I'm listening to these messages, and I'm like, what in the fuck?
Please open the door. It's getting crazy, ugly. Don't do this. Shaylin, you need to fix this.
We were reporting stuff to the police a lot.
July 8th comes around. He was threatening to commit suicide.
She was messaging us, "I'm so afraid he's gonna unalive himself." And we're saying, well, then you know what? Contact them. She did.
She texted 911, and they came out.
I called the cops at one point because he was threatening to kill himself because I wanted to leave. They got there.
She kept us updated through the entire thing.
He said, "We got a call that you were trying to kill yourself." And I'm like, "No, I called about him." Russ said, "No, it wasn't. They left."
Next thing you know, we get a voice recording from her saying like, "Well, he said he was fine and they left."
Believe this shit. I told them everything. Of course, he said, "No, I didn't say that. No, that's not going on." And they're just gonna leave. I even told him, he's made statements about having intrusive thoughts about shooting me and burying me in the yard. Nothing. They're just leaving. So. Wow. Now he's acting like nothing happened. Unbelievable.
Russ denied the whole thing, and they ended up leaving.
I was really frustrated at this point with the law enforcement down there because I asked, I was like, did they separate you guys? That was my first question to her because I was so confused. I was like, you just leave the situation? Because Russ is like, no, I'm fine. And she said, no, they didn't They didn't separate us.
Why would you lie to them? Why would you lie? You're not going to get help if you're not honest.
I don't need to watch this right now.
Are you serious?
And it's like, you guys, she is calling for help, right? We're not just calling you for the hell of it. And they're like, yeah, but it's McKamey Manor. They do this stuff all the time. What people might not also know is before you do a tour, he calls the cops.
Dispatcher Russ McKamey chooses to notify authorities before it begins.
You can advise the officers coming to our house that it's not real, we're okay, everything's fine.
So don't take any calls seriously.
And they're okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
How? Fucking how?
July 10th at 9:53 p.m. that night, Shay started sending us more messages. They were getting more and more disturbing. At one point, it sounded like he was going to break down the door.
Open the door. I can't do this. I can't. There's something wrong with you, and I need to help. You have my compassion. Open the door. You're doing insane things. Open the door.
I told you what's wrong.
Open the door. The kind of things you're saying, that is sick. Open the door. This is what you think? This is what you think about me? These are the fears you have about if your kid got hurt around me or something? What? What are you saying? Open the door.
I was like, I'm not going to sit back and not do anything. So I ended up taking screenshots of our entire conversation. I sent it to the Lawrence County Sheriff's Department, and I called 911 again.
The very weird thing about the timing of all this is the cops would come both of those times, and then we'd get a message from her saying, Russ is making me go live.
Sorry. Anybody out there? No, don't touch me. You're mad.
I am, Mom.
Huh?
I was just gonna do this.
No, that's what I did to you. Sorry.
She and Russ started going on Facebook Lives together.
She'd be like sitting in his lap. They'd be like flirting and cutesy and like kissing on each other. And Russ would be like, oh, I love her so much.
You know, I would watch him. I didn't say anything, but I was getting more and more irritated. And I think Chris and Boston both are getting more and more irritated watching him because he sits there and he talks down to her. He berates her.
This message is for all the haters out there. We are officially broken up.
I'm gonna strangle you.
What?
I'm gonna strangle you.
Oh, yeah, no, I strangle you. You speak to her so rudely. I know, don't I? Don't I? Because if she doesn't respond right, got this haters. Make sure you have like a little clip here. So if she doesn't respond right, she gets punished, and I go hang her up in the barn. Well, you like the barn, don't you? So she likes the barn. That's where all the other bodies are hanging up.
It was so staged, but the weirdest part was like the the public didn't know what was going on behind the scenes.
For the records. For the record.
Yeah, for the record.
I'm being forced to do live streams now.
Ooh, her phone keeps going out. Must be like a connection problem. She doesn't want the truth being told. So I'll be nice. So here's you guys can read between the lines on this one. Shaylin and I are extremely close, and I know everything. Everything.
He does not know everything.
Well, at one point, I'm just like, you know what, fuck this. Whenever she would go live with him on her thing, she would never block us. And so I was sitting there, and I was calling him out, left and right. I was calling him out. Chris eventually joined in, and so did Boston.
Why do you put up with her? See, that's what I don't understand. Why do you do that? Boston Market Gravy Girl says,
Stop it.
most dangerous stunt being his girlfriend. Someone had to say it. Sorry to say. See, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about. Why do you put up with that ugly garbage stuff? This is the thing.
I didn't see it.
Well, it's just continuing. And then there's Brandon Vance. You know, why do you do it?
The live streams had gotten more erratic and more dysfunctional. He was just going live all the time, and we were getting messages from her like, sorry guys, but he's making me go live.
It had been progressing at this point. Like
it started getting physical.
We were getting a lot of hate because we were putting her in a dangerous situation by having the cops show up and not do anything. But at the same time, it was like, where in our like, we know him and we know where this is headed. Do we just sit and let her be murdered? Or do we keep trying? And maybe it does. I mean, like, we didn't want to think that it put her in harm's way, but with the amount of hate we were getting from people, we really were concerned that maybe we were.
They were arguing so much, and a lot of their arguments and the stuff she'd send us of him like screaming at her was because she wasn't bashing us, Chris, Brandon, and myself. And he knew, at least on some degree, that we had casual friendship.
I am panicking.
Unlock the door, Shaylin.
Not right now.
All this because of Chris Smith and Brandon Vance? And you're not able to stand up for us?
I just need some time to calm.
Disgusting.
I need some time to calm down.
Calm down? And you're locking me out? You're like on their side?
I didn't say that.
Okay, well that's what it sure looks like to everybody. You're not even a team with me. You're a team with Chris Smith and Brandon Vance. What is that supposed to tell me?
I just need time to calm down.
No, what is this supposed to tell me, Shay?
Your
loyalty is with those people. Are you in cohorts with them?
Fuck off.
As her relationship with Russ was becoming more and more toxic and falling apart, her and I were getting closer and closer and having these late night phone calls. Yes, I will admit, I was hitting my head against a brick wall. At that point, I'm like, no, you got to get out of there. You have to leave. The things you're telling me are not okay. Please pack your things. We can come get you. And she's like, just a few more days. She has her own issues and he has his own issues, and they would kind of trauma bond. So it was easier said than done for her to leave.
I was just trying not to get him arrested because I didn't want him to shoot himself. And he would tell me he would get molested in prison, stuff like that. And I freaked out.
Some of the stuff she would tell us would be like days or weeks later. Like the flashlight incident was a few days after it happened that we found out about it.
They had gotten on a big fight on live, and she went to the car, was live for a while, and then the live ended, and I'm messaging her, trying to reach out to her to make sure she's okay.
I feel so lost because, like, I don't belong at home anymore. I don't belong here. I just feel like I don't belong anywhere.
The day started, I think that's when Shay sent us earlier saying a couple days ago I got hit with the flashlight.
And she starts telling me about some abuse. She said he came outside, dragged her out of the van onto the yard, hit her with a flashlight.
You were on your way out, right? We were just about there.
Yeah, I had packed.
Then she's going into details about all the times that she's passed out. She is unloading everything. I'm hearing about seizures. From being choked. I'm hearing about being choked out on the front porch, just randomly.
We had a plan in place to get her out of the house. We had a person on speed dial that she was going to walk down the road and they were going to fly up and get her.
He came outside and he told me if I didn't get out of the car, he would drag me out. He hit me with the flashlight and he came to the other side of the car and dragged me out. I hit the gravel. When I told him it bothered me, he said, well, get over it. It's going to happen again. You shouldn't have been out there. There was an incident where he choked me and I passed out. And it wasn't a sex thing. He just choked me out. I was live and he didn't know I was live. I said, I think I fell asleep earlier. And he goes, you didn't fall asleep.
I think you're pranking me about something. Well, earlier. Huh? I think I fell asleep. You're just not telling me. I fell asleep.
When he realized I was live, he goes, yeah, you fell asleep.
Yeah, you fell asleep.
I fell asleep.
Huh?
I fell asleep.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what I think.
July 19th. I was asleep at the time when Boston called.
So we had like kind of like shifts. Like Brandon would wake up real early in the morning, and if she needed anything, he was right there. I'd wake up like midday and have till the late evening. And if she needed anything, if she sent any sign or if she went live.
Because he would force me to go live a lot to make it look like we weren't fighting. We broke up one time and he made me go live.
We are officially broken up. So don't hassle this poor woman anymore.
He kept coming to the door and banging on the door like he did every time I locked myself in the room.
I'm getting more and more scared, and we're having another one of those conversations, but this time it feels real because she says she is packing and she's got the bedroom door locked.
He was saying stuff like, you think I'm a real sicko? You think I like touching kids? And you're making me a monster.
Will you please open the door?
No.
I'm trying to work with you. Will you please open the door?
Go to bed.
And then she sent me a recording, and it was just him banging on the door. And before she did that, she said, it's very quiet. He's outside the room, I can tell.
And I could just hear him just standing at the door, breathing.
And I get chills. Then I get another voice recording. It's like the same thing. He's outside the door. And then bang, bang, bang. My fear level was escalated to the point where she had just admitted to me for the first time I was raped. And it's happened a lot. The seizures, the physically hit with a flashlight.
And then he left and he came back. He said, my head's not right. I need to talk to you. So I shut my phone down because by this time he knew that I was friends with them and didn't want me talking to them. I let him in.
Phone goes silent.
Sorry.
Take your time. Take your time.
30 minutes go by, which doesn't sound like a lot of time. And for me, it was like panic mode. It's close to 3 a.m. I'm messaging the boys because usually we all, talk about this. They're asleep. And I say, fuck it. I can't live with myself if something happens to her. And I call 911.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
The firearm is hidden from Mr. Russ, correct?
Correct. I did ask her specifically where it is. I can tell you exactly where it is. She told me that earlier when we were talking.
What is your name?
He asked if he could sit with me and I said no. And he sat. Then he asked if he could touch me and I said no. And he just started doing things anyway.
This has been going on a long time and you can't make someone get out of the situation. I understand that.
Where is the phone so I can have it here to where the officers do ask, I can let them know.
So it's behind the box fan on the bedroom wall shelf.
I will send an officer out that way.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
He choked me like twice. I didn't pass out until the third time. And then he did more stuff. And then
subject's banging on the complainant's door and running away. That's been going on for an hour.
02 Mary Young 18 infected. Summertown. Be Russ McKamey.
When you heard that what? Give an update when I get there.
Then he left.
Yeah, he said, let's go watch a movie.
Fucking nothing happened.
Yeah. And I said, I need a minute. And he said, okay. And went to the living room, turned on the TV. I powered my phone on. And I saw that she had called the police. And I just, nothing was processing. I couldn't process anything. I didn't feel anything. I was just gone. I got up and went in the living room with him, knowing the cops were about to come. And I just sat there and looked at him for a minute. In my head, I was thinking, this is probably the last time I'm going to see him. Cops showed up, and I was still in his shirt. I had to, stay in that shirt for hours, not allowed to take a shower or anything. I just told them everything that happened, step by step what happened. I started crying, and I was like, I don't want him to go to jail. Is he going to go to jail? And she's like, this is just an investigation. Just tell exactly what happened again, but on paper. And I did.
So I'm holding my breath and I'm waiting, and maybe another 30 minutes go by and I get a text message. He's arrested. They're arresting him.
They were like, so we're gonna have to arrest him. And I just started bawling my eyes out. I'm like, he's gonna fucking die and it's gonna be my fault. His life is over. Like,
that's what he planted in your brain. That's what he wanted originally. That you feeling guilty.
Yeah.
And I'm in shock. And she got on the phone with me, like hysterically crying while the police were there, saying they're taking him away. I was like, are you separated? That was my first question. She said, yes, they have him over there, and I am with this female police officer in her car.
And I saw them taking him out of the house in handcuffs, and he was yelling for me. And I was just in the back of a cop car, couldn't do anything, couldn't say anything, he couldn't see me.
So he was like screaming your name?
Mm-hmm. He was just like, Shay, Shay. And I was just bawling my eyes out, like, yeah, it was a horrible feeling.
Originally, the charges were just domestic violence. They put him in, and he was supposed to be held for like at least 12 hours before he could get out, and something went wrong, and they released him early. And at this point...
What can go fucking wrong?
At this point...
They thought AM instead of PM. That's literally what happened.
Yeah. And
they looked at it
wrong.
wrong.
He was only in there for like a couple hours.
He was on his way home, and I hadn't even left the house.
Like, when Russ got arrested, it was like, holy shit, he got arrested, right? We thought he got arrested for what she told us that he did, for raping her. And then when we look at the charging document, it was for domestic assault. Like, what? And then literally 2 days later, those charges were upgraded to rape and 2 counts of second-degree murder. Like, holy shit.
Tracking crime now in Lawrence County, the owner of an infamous haunted attraction known for its extreme tactics is facing charges. According to court documents, Russ McKamey was arrested at his home in Summertown on Friday after allegedly assaulting his girlfriend. Since Friday, more charges have been filed. He's now accused of trying to kill his girlfriend on more than one occasion. McKamey is accused of strangling the victim on 2 separate incidents.
Cops ended up picking him back up because they realized, fuck, that was a
That they
screw
screwed
up.
up.
Stayed in for what, like 48 hours?
Yeah, and then he
Posted.
paid to get out.
$100,000 bond.
When I wake up, because I wake up super early because I have to go to work, my phone was blowing up.
As soon as the cops arrived, she texted us, and when she could talk, that's when they called and woke me up.
We all jumped on a group call with Shay at like, it must have been 5 o'clock in the morning.
The boys woke up. At this point, the sun was rising, and I had been on the phone with Shay for maybe 2 hours. And then Chris joined the call, and then Brandon joined the call. And this phone call lasted well into the mid-afternoon.
And she started spiraling, well, let me back up. That's a bad word. I don't want to say that she was spiraling. She was in a bad place, and I get it.
I was in the hospital for a few days before I left.
Yeah, someone shouldn't pass out that much.
Well, not because of that.
Oh.
Other reasons, but yeah.
I got it. Oh, boy.
We couldn't get in touch with her, and we were getting scared because she said that she was going to call us back. She had made some other comment, too, that was really, really kind of, it wasn't super cryptic, right? And I don't think it really dawned on us what she might have been saying until later. We ended up doing a health and welfare call, and that's when they found her, and they took her to a place to kind of get better, and that's where she was at for about a week.
You probably saved her life. You know that, right?
Oh, they 100% did.
Yeah.
Huh.
You realize that you probably saved her life.
Yeah. If you wouldn't call,
you probably saved her life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, girl.
Yeah.
To do the right things.
Thank you. And it's just weird to hear. Sorry, that took me. It's weird to hear. Because she did tell me that later that day, and that's when it hit home. And became really, really real. Was that she thought her life was going to be over.
And since then, I've talked to him, and he didn't remember me saying no until I told him, like, word for word what happened that night. And he was like, now I kind of do remember you saying no, but you said it in a cute way. So I didn't think you were serious.
Well, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. But do you think I AR'd you? I need to know that. Do you think I AR'd you? I mean, just listen to what you were saying right there, and the way you were saying the cutesy nose and stuff. And I'm like, well, can I just a little? And so, yeah, I was trying to seduce you, and then you, after the choking thing, I didn't even know that's when you got into it, but after the choking thing, you got into it, and then you were half and half in your head and trying to get out of everything, which is what I wanted you to do. I wanted you to get out of your noggin. I wanted you to, and then you were into it and doing all your normal crazy stuff, and which was great, But you're right. The way you said no right there is exactly the kind of cutesy nose I was hearing, And I don't know if you said no when I was below your waist. If you did, it was like that. And because I'm confusing myself now, I'm thinking, well, maybe I do remember her saying no in a cute way. I don't really know. It's possible.
It hasn't been a smooth road for her and us since then, because I think I have a lot of feelings about like the things that had happened after, and still defending him afterwards was like, she was breaking my heart because it hit me like I made a 3 a.m. phone call, and maybe that's why she's still here. And now you want to go to that crazy guy? I'm still dealing with those emotions, I think, to this day.
The entire time, she still wanted to see the good in him. At some point, we given up on trying to convince her not to stay. If we can do anything, we can at least provide a safety net. And we didn't realize what was coming.
There was a segment of time after Shay left Russ and was safe, and before the court date, where we collectively stopped talking to her and told her, we have to take a step back, and when you're ready to take off the rose-colored glasses, then we'll be here for you.
Russ had a restraining order from talking to her, a no contact order, right? But man, that's all he did was contact her. When he got other people to contact her and other people to get into her head.
There were multiple women. One of the women, Karen, she's been friends with Russ, talking to Shay through Russ. Obviously Russ was talking to them. They had a no contact order. And that's when I put my foot down and was like, Shay, you can't contact him. He can't contact you. And she's like, well, it's okay if I contact him. I'm like, why?
Karen, one of Russ's right-hand people, told you that Russ was going to die because of you.
Yeah.
And that you needed to do this or else an innocent man was going to die.
And I even told her what happened, and she was like, wow, I don't know what to say.
Who's this bitch?
I know he didn't mean
Exactly.
to.
Her name was Karen.
I don't want to throw her under the bus.
Oh, I'm fine throwing
Fine,
her under
do
the
it.
bus.
What?
She said, I'm sure he didn't mean to. It's because he loved you and he was trying to make up.
This Karen bitch. First of all, those are the sickest human beings. When I first heard that anyone was contacting her, I was but to hear that they were women, it was 3 different women telling her, oh, that's how he shows his love. Those words came out of one of these ladies' mouths. They were telling her exactly what she wanted to hear at the moment. She wanted to hear, he didn't actually hurt me, or he didn't mean to hurt me. I don't know if it's her real name, but Jennifer Jones. She has a whole Facebook group.
I started a free Russ McKamey group. Well, at first I started a page, and then I realized I'm stupid enough. I'm not that social media. I don't know how my name got in this. Yes, I do. My husband says all I like to do is debate. Oh, God, help me.
Jennifer Jones was like, you need to make these videos. You need to exonerate him. He didn't mean to try to kill you. He didn't mean to rape you and all this stuff. It was the most vile bullshit I've ever seen. That is witness intimidation.
The Russ McKamey cult, they're all reaching out. We have inside knowledge from some of his ex-mods saying Russ is messaging people saying, please get in touch with Shay and make sure she changes her story or I'm going to jail and I will die.
Jennifer Jones even admitted that Russ was in contact with them.
Hang on a second. Let me get with Russ and see what the hell he wants. I'm happy to try to see if you guys can connect. Again, it would have to be like in severe secrecy because I don't want no legal trouble. I'm telling you, being in the jail is no fun. I done been there a few times myself.
Nobody should have been trying to convince her that it's okay to rape somebody else. It's insane.
And that's when I found out about the videos that she had made for Russ. And my heart just sank.
Russ is supposed to have a no contact order. And I mean, apparently, I guess that doesn't matter.
Telling me what I needed to do to get him out of it. Make a video saying it was all consensual.
Were you engaging with this?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because I thought I loved him. And I wanted to help.
Did you love him?
I don't know.
But you did help.
Yeah, I did.
You did the video? You made the video?
Yep, I did.
Even then, she was like, I'll just tell them that Karen told me I needed to say this and that Karen was telling me for Russ. And I was like, I don't know.
It's like, you need to contact your victim advocate. You have a victim advocate for a reason. At the time, Shay was like, well, nobody's contacted me, did it? So I found who the victim advocate was. I found their office. I found her boss. I found her boss's boss. We sent them all of this stuff. It was like, this person is being intimidated, and it's under the direction of Russ. It's so blatant.
You'd hope in a perfect world that the judge or the courts that they would understand the complicated dynamics.
Speaking of useless people, can you talk to me about Brent Cooper?
Yeah, so even Brent...
He seems so sure that I was going to be prosecuted going into it, the district attorney. And then he went and talked to Russ's lawyer, and he came back. And it was different suddenly. He said to me in front of my family that if we went through with it, I was going to be humiliated for hours, and that he didn't want to move forward with it.
Another phenomenal DA, dude. What's happening with DAs?
What's his name?
I don't want to get sued.
Why would you
For
get
what?
sued?
For telling your story?
Yeah.
No. Fuck that.
It was Brett Cooper.
Brett Cooper?
Yeah.
She's attorney out of Tennessee? All right.
So this Mr. Brick
Got it.
Cooper said you're gonna get humiliated.
Yeah.
Because you went through this, and I just save you those humiliation, titillation hours.
It gets better.
Just don't talk about it.
It gets better. I said, does it not matter that I said no 3 times? And he said, yeah, but you stopped saying no. This was after him telling me and my family that he believed Russ would kill somebody and that he planned to kill me probably, and then he just didn't want to do it.
We never heard from him. I think he needs to reach out to us. Brandon has even sent, and never heard back every message we ever had with her, detailing the story, the dates.
Yeah, he said a lot of really distasteful things. He was like, you're young and pretty, move on. You can do better. He's ugly anyway.
Which country are we living? What is fucking happening?
He says with signed waivers in hand, what goes on here isn't illegal, as violent as it may appear or sound to others. And the district attorney for Lawrence County agrees.
There's no law that I know of at this point that they can be charged with violating.
This brings us to Brent Cooper. the district attorney for Lawrence County, Tennessee. Now, during this interview, his name was mispronounced a few times as Brett, but his name is Brent Cooper, and he is the district attorney of the 22nd Judicial District for the state of Tennessee. And he is the man that had every opportunity to pursue charges against Russ McKamey, who had endless witness testimonies available on a silver platter. Every screenshot, every recording, every reason to pursue justice, and decided not to. Is this corruption or incompetence? You'll have to judge that for yourself. But I will say that Brent Cooper's office is no stranger to corruption inquiries.
News Channel 5 Investigates first reported the FBI is investigating whether a prosecutor in District Attorney Brent Cooper's office told deputies to destroy evidence.
Now, the attorney representing Jones has filed a motion to disqualify District Attorney Brent Cooper from prosecuting Jones on drug charges. The motion claims Cooper cannot be impartial because his office is involved in investigating the two deputies as well as a former prosecutor in his office.
We did reach out to Brent Cooper directly, requesting comment on this case and reasons for why he decided to not pursue charges. And keep watching this video to the end to see what his response was. It will infuriate you.
Shay called us right after that first hearing, that when she had to go, and she told us what he said to her, and it was just like, who says that?
Brent Cooper? Third party, what Shay and her sister-in-law and brother said was that he basically was like, you know, if you take this to trial, you're gonna lose. And that's probably all Russ did, was like, look, here you go. He had the videos, endless statements of her saying she loves him and misses him and wants to move back and all this stuff. Regardless of the reasoning why, if the general public doesn't understand abusive relationships and what can happen, that cycle afterwards, and how it can take a long time to process what happened to you, there's a really good chance that a jury is not going to understand that.
This fucking Mr. Brick Brain Cooper, he went and he talked to Russ lawyers. Something happened. Why did he what happened?
They showed him the video I made. I didn't lie and say it was consensual. I said, I did say no, but I think if I would have said no in a different way, he would have stopped. So that's what got him out of it.
You have a victim, you saw it, there is medical exams, everything in this, right? And
Which no counselors ever saw me to be like, hey, your feelings are going to change about this, or nothing.
It's like they want to completely ignore the fact that not only did Russ break his order, Russ manipulated his way out of this. His ass should be in fucking prison right now. He's a fucking chomo that belongs in fucking prison, in my opinion. And the fact that a lot of this stuff was just patently ignored and just looked at the surface level is just mind-blowing to me.
Look at the evidence instead of just kind of discounting it all because you have the victim saying that they're not a victim.
A trauma victim manipulated into denouncing the crimes.
Russ loves to say that they were dismissed. They were not dismissed. They were nullo prosecutori. All that means is that the prosecution chose not to move forward. That's all that means. So it doesn't mean that it was dismissed. Those charges can get brought back at some point. They absolutely can. As long as it's within the statute of limitations, they can get brought back. They were not dismissed. Regardless of what Russ or his alcoholic attorney wants to say, they were not dismissed. He was never found not guilty. This is the most clear case of witness intimidation I've ever seen. Look at Russ's phone. Look at his messages on who he was messaging during that time frame. I guarantee you will see messages between Russ and Shay, Russ and Karen, Russ and these Jennifer Jones, him trying to get people to intimidate and manipulate Shay into basically lying. Also take into consideration a victim's mindset. It's like that's completely gone out the window. Somebody who's been through that type of trauma.
Judicial incompetence.
Yeah. It's mind-blowing. I've never seen anything like it. This will happen again. It's happened before Shay. It happened to Shay. God help the next person at this point, because he is actively prowling for other women right now, using his fucking photo on his dating profile of when he was in court on rape charges.
Yeah! Here we are. Who? Which one? They did? Yeah. I've been recognized, huh? You guys know me, don't you? You saw me and you're like, we're live right now. Yeah. Are you guys fans or haters? So after this is over, I'm going to show you my real page. You're gonna love me. You will fall in love with me. Beautiful, by the way. Yeah, I know. I heard that 8,009 today, but once more can't hurt. Send me a friend request, you too. Okay? Are you scared? Yeah.
He's been doing karaoke recently. That's been his new outlet, is going karaoke. His big thing to do now is when young women want to take a picture, he chokes them in the photo.
Are you fucking kidding me?
So it became like
he's been posting
move.
it as a dig at Shay.
For those fuckers watching this, saying, well, you did all of this because you want to be famous. You're not a victim. Russ is the victim. You're a bad girl.
I get that a lot. As soon as I
what
got out of the hospital.
What would you say to all these nice, amazing people?
Nobody wants to be famous for being raped. Nobody wants to be famous for being killed. Nobody wants the most painful, worst things that have happened to them to be talked about by thousands of people. I've done social media for 10 years, and having something like this to drown out everything I've ever done really sucks.
That guy with the emails is a very bad dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Very, very bad dude. He's the one that Russ is suing, and it's really weird because he's trying to help Russ build a case to sue me. I put McKamey Manor Roadtrip.com, that's my website. That has a bunch of facts about McKamey Manor in it, and you'll see a Justin section. That's about him because we expose him too.
The more attention he gets, the worse he gets.
Yeah.
He blackmails people. He'll threaten people's families. He'll say he'll put your kids on child porn sites.
He's the one that Russ is suing. He's the one from the documentary that hacked the emails. He got embarrassed when he went through really bad.
You failed. You failed. What are you doing?
And so now he wants to be the one that takes Russ down.
What were you thinking, Russ? Telling me I could bring a friend with me to the manor? Because the manor can't handle me alone, but you say I can bring a friend with me, Russ? Well, let me tell you something, Russ. We're here at the kids' playground, Russ. This is where I do my training for boot camp.
So the movie comes out. Me, Reckless Ben, Danny, Brandon, Boston, we're all mods for Justin. He has the biggest group on Facebook exposing McKamey Manor. And we're like, yeah, we're all in a team together. Things are going good.
Justin asked me to be a admin mod or whatever on his Facebook group. Asked Chris, and so we were kind of running that Facebook group.
And then I started getting text messages from people, if they didn't like him, they would make a comment on the internet, and so then he would start harassing them with fake profiles. And at first we thought, okay, this can't be Justin, this is fake profile, whatever.
Chris and I both got messages that Justin was threatening to put this woman's child on some child porn site. I'm like, what? It's like, no.
We ended up getting so many of them, and so we sent a link to the fake profile on one day. We got that IP address, and then we waited 2 days, and we sent Justin. We changed the name of the site, sent Justin a different one.
Dumbass clicked twice.
He clicked it, and it was the same IP address.
Wow.
My first thought was no. Then she showed us, right? She showed me, and then me and Chris confronted him and was like, did you do this? And he admitted to doing this. We're like, we don't want anything to do with that. So we immediately kind of cut him off.
My favorite one, though, is when when it used to be his original profile, Justin, so people tagged him in comments, and then when I click on the Justin name, it takes me to that fake profile.
Oh my God.
So it's out that it's him.
Russ McKamey versus Justin, you're an
ass.
Your ass.
Justin is just as obsessive as Russ is. They both share a lot of very similar traits, right? If you leave with Russ, right? If you leave him and if you go away from him, you're now a hater. You can't have an open mind to anybody that has a different opinion with Russ. Well, same thing is with Justin. We left and all of a sudden we became enemy number one to Justin, even though we hadn't done anything to Justin. We was we're not co-signing to that type of behavior. We don't threaten to put children's pictures on a fucking child porn site? Are you stupid? We don't do that.
He was actually one of the first people to harass me online when I started.
So what does he
dating
want?
Russ.
If he's trying to, I don't get it.
He wants to be the only one to take Russ down.
So he's got an ego?
So,
Is it-
yes.
He wants to be a superstar.
If anybody else tries to do anything, he harasses her for speaking up. He made memes of people being choked out and saying, "This is Shay."
Or he showed
actual
Russ
footage.
holding something up, and he said the last thing Shay saw before the police came and stuff like that.
As soon as we left, Justin made it his life's goal to make me and Chris's life a living hell. We've had like 15 groups dedicated to me and Chris, and like he calls us, he puts us on call lists, he sent threatening letters to my wife, he sent threatening letters to me, threatening packages to me.
So he's not on anyone's side. He's just an
He's
ass.
on- he's on his own.
He messages
But-
Russ.
Yeah, he messages Russ
under
and-
fake accounts, and Russ knows it's him, but he'll take whatever he sends him.
So he's trying to take down Russ, but he harasses other
He
people
will
trying to take down
eliminate
Russ.
everybody who wanna take Russ down.
Yeah, so
it's kind of like it's me, ooh,
So-
I'm the number one on the internet.
It's like fucking elementary school.
Yeah,
Like what
yeah.
the fuck?
So he starts sending, like Brandon, he sent his wife a rose and it said, "You are married to a woman abuser. If you ever need help, contact the wolf." He goes by the wolf.
Does anyone just tell this guy to get fucked?
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
all the time.
so many fucking times.
Let him call. Let him do his whatever. Jerk off in the corner. Like what the fuck? Like he has no power.
He's married, has kids. He went to the extent of finding an ex of mine, manipulating her into a romance, getting images of her, and basically saying that if I don't back away, he's going to release all her nude images online.
Isn't that incriminate? That's
Yes.
legal for him to
Dude,
say that to you.
We've talked to the cops.
That's blackmail.
They don't
It's
care.
so, yeah, I have blackmail so many times. Like, hey, I'm going to go after every one of your friends and make sure I ruin their business if you don't just leave.
The things people do to be famous
They
on the
create
internet.
their own little worlds and they just think that they're just the king of everything.
I only find out about that missing hard drive.
Yeah, we have it. We, my buddy Brandon,
Oh my
who was
fuck.
in the doc, was the one that gave it to Ben in his YouTube series.
How the fuck did you get hard drive?
Russ has tons of hard drives. One year, one of them got corrupted, and he went to somebody and said, "Can you get these files uncorrupted?" Guy said, "Sure." He said, "Awesome." So he gave him the hard drive. The guy went to charge Russ for the hard drive, and Russ was like, "I'm not paying you." And the guy was like, "Well, then you're not getting your hard drive back." Russ said, "Well, fuck it. I don't want it then." So the guy said, "Okay, who wants Russ's hard drive?"
Oh my god.
So Russ says it's the stolen hard drive, right? So it circled years ago. It circled around, and so we knew of its existence. We were in the process of filming Hulu when Ben was filming his series, so we really couldn't be a part of Ben's series till the end after we were done. So we had the hard drive, and we're watching them go through, and it's like, how do we tell Ben to get how to get the hard? It was like a game in itself.
Was there a specific reason that this hard drive specifically was of utmost importance, or is it just any hard drive of his will have a lot of unedited footage?
This one had two particular things that were never shown. I personally think it was because break some laws in it. There is one with Rhett and one with Marissa. Now the Marissa one, Ben dives into a lot, showing how some things were faked and all that throughout it. But the show, how it starts out, like, it doesn't start out as being a plant. She's going through it, and there's footage of when she's trying to read the contract, they're pouring beer on the table and making her drink it while she's trying to sign a legal document.
Was she the one that ended up in the bathtub still reading it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they
I've
pick
seen
her
that
up,
whole
they
thing.
beat her up while she's
Before
trying.
she signed the damn thing.
Yeah. At one part, it's 45 minutes of Russ just in her ear
Oh my god.
saying Marissa, 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 Marissa,
La la
Marissa.
la 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 la.
Parties hereby agree that neither party shall be under any. This agreement can only be written amendment signed by the party against.
That's a big part of it that you don't see in the movies. And everybody's like, why would you sign that when it says all this stuff can happen to you? Well, what this video shows that we started releasing from the hard drive is the part where Russ says, okay, so read this part. It's all fake.
I swear to you, I'm telling you the honest secret of how to get through this, if you want to know it. If you don't want to know it, then you can just fake it and you can just do what you can. Again, don't be telling people I'm telling you this stuff, okay?
You're not really going to get hurt. This is for the show. This is part of the show. Just sign it. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's going to be a good time.
We're going to get great footage.
Yeah, we're going to get good footage. You are going to be a star.
It looks great on film. It's a great footage, and it's all about the movie. We're making a movie. You are my star tonight.
Then in Russ's videos, he just cuts to participant knows that their teeth can be pulled at any time, and then he puts some music on, you know. But he's telling you everything in this is fake. Think about it. You have no sense of sound because your ears are taken away. You're blindfolded. How do you know that you're actually about to be dragged behind a car? You don't.
Walk forward, walk forward. Walk to your left, walk to your left, walk to your left.
He's told you that. You're assuming that this is all fake. He told you it was fake.
I'm going so slow. I'm going 1 mile an hour.
Rhett holds on to it. Twice he lets go, and the third time he wraps it really tight, and that's when he's not letting go. And Russ is upset that he's not letting it go. And he goes over gravel road, and it pulls him.
Let go. Gotta let go. Keep the legs up.
God damn it! God damn it!
He's still on. He's still on, but he's hurt.
He hurt. Stop.
Fuck! God fucking damn it, my knee.
All right, hold on.
Ah!
Hang on. Let go of the chain.
The other thing is people are like, why didn't he let go? Why didn't he let go? Well, the chain is wrapped, and when that truck's pulling, there's tension. It's like a Chinese finger trap, you know? You're not able to let go until it stops. He's hurt. He's laying on the ground. Russ is going to turn him around and basically say, you're fine. Walk it off.
Walk it off.
You're barely bleeding. And you can see on his arms, there's blood already on his arms. Yeah. His shirt's already torn. Now, the burns in that are under the part of the shirt that's still up there. That's where the road rash is. From there, you think, oh, maybe I should stop. This guy just got hurt.
Right.
No, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put you in a straitjacket, and I'm going to calm you down and sit you on this ledge here, and we're just going to chill. And then he grabs Rhett by the throat and dunks him into the water. While he's blindfolded, he has no idea to hold his breath before he's going underwater. How unsafe is that?
God damn it! I can't breathe.
Wasn't he in the hospital for like 2 weeks?
Yep. Yeah, he was 2 weeks because the infection from the dirty water and the road rash. I never knew about this till I was out. He had never posted it. So Hulu Doc comes out. Ben's talked about how he had the hard drive. So Russ starts to panic. And Russ is like, you know what? Shit, I need to release it. So he finally makes a version of it and he releases it.
Which was exactly when I started talking to him.
He skips the part where he hits the gravel. He shows the 2 parts on the grass. And then he goes, see, it wasn't bad. There was no gravel. He was like, he never got dunked. Cuts all that stuff out.
So he thinks by cutting it out, it's like people will believe it. It just didn't happen.
He tries to give that, like submit that stuff to the courts. And the courts are like, this is edited footage. No.
To the court? Why was he sending?
Because of the AG investigation going on.
I asked him why I cut it out, and he said, because it makes me look bad.
There's several videos on there that are really incriminating to Russ. It goes to kind of, in my opinion, why he never released it, because it's pretty daggone bad. The movie came out in October, November 29th. I got in contact with Brett Cooper and set up a meeting between him and Dakota for them to meet to see if there's anything that can be done, right? Because Dakota did not want to be there. And anyways, kidnapping charges, anything. And I sent all that stuff to Brett Cooper. Brett Cooper was supposed to set Dakota up with like an investigator to look into it further. Brett Cooper gave Rhett a disconnected number and then refused to ever reply to any other inquiry from Rhett in order to get that ball rolling at all. Brett Cooper's a piece of shit, in my opinion.
So Russ puts up the video of Rhett where it's edited, and I'm like, that ain't gonna last long. So I hurry up and I download it, I screen record it, and sure enough, the lawyer tells him take it down. So he takes it down. So I'm like, guess what, guys? Movie night on my channel. I play his movie, but then I went and put the footage that he forgot because he said he wanted to tell the full story.
Yeah.
So I wanted to help.
So good.
I wanted to help my man out.
Yeah.
So I inserted
You were editing
it.
content for him after
Yeah,
all, right?
No, no. So you showed the gravel, you showed everything.
That's when the gaslighting started about me. All of a sudden, every video that I helped him out with, where I'm in it like, Russ is a good guy, or I went through a tour and it was fun, he starts posting all of that stuff everywhere. He's like, wow, doesn't sound like a big hater here, does he?
That's why he always tries to get people to make videos, so that once
can
they
use it
realize
later,
he's a bad person, it looks like.
And he makes them do the video on the property the second it happened.
Yeah. And you're still a little
you're going to
scared.
lie to him because you're
Yeah.
nervous, right?
I used to watch Ben for like 2 years before I talked to Russ. And so I would try to like help Russ see like from his point of view why he did the stuff he did, what he meant by certain stuff, would kind of try to like be like, well, did you know he like helped people out of occults that abused children? Did you know like this? And he just wouldn't. So we fought a lot. We broke up probably 40 times because of me defending Ben.
When you say broke up, what is it? It's like 5 minutes breakup?
I mean, it's only 6 months or 7 months long, right?
Like every other day.
So when he was screaming at you in that recording, he was saying something like, that's the worst thing you could have done to me.
Oh, that was because I wished Chris a happy birthday.
You fucking put it on your reel!
I told you I did.
That's it. That is the most disrespectful, sick, disgusting thing you could have ever done to me.
Wishing him a happy birthday? Oh, I have like ones that are 17 minutes long. Just of him talking to me like that. Just yelling and screaming at me. Mostly about Ben.
I love Reckless Ben. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I love Reckless Ben.
Reckless Ben in the house, everybody. Are you aware of how much you impacted them and this whole, you have a super fan in her, by the way.
Really?
She won't say it, but.
I told you not to say that. Hey!
Dang. Just, I think someone showed it to me. They're like, Ben, you do extreme stuff. Like, you should do this haunted house. And I was like, yeah, I'm down. And I started looking more into it. I was like, this looks sick. He's like talking about like all these crazy zip lines and stuff and bungee jumping things. And because normally you have to like pay like lots of money to do that, you know, but in this case, he's going to pay you to do it. I'm like, dude, that sounds sick. I went there and it turned out to be fake, I guess, and it like wasn't anything that I thought it was gonna be. But like I like fully believed like all this crazy stuff was happening. So I do slacklining. It's like a bungee cord, I guess, and like a trampoline combined. You do like crazy flips on it, but it's only like this wide. It's like really scary and it like pushes yourself a lot. And so McKamey Manor is kind of like, I was like, oh, that's gonna push me also, you know, but not really. I was staying at my friend's house that lived right across the building of Scientology. And I would try and look up, I'm like, okay, like what goes on inside Scientology? And like the only thing I could find out was that was a mystery and like no one's ever gotten footage from inside it. And I just wanted to see like what's it like inside, you know? But I was like too scared to go in. So I was like, I'm just gonna go in with secret cameras and just figure it out myself, you know? And I'm gonna be the first person to like post what actually goes on inside. And then people seemed to like that. And so I just kept doing that, I guess. So then McKamey Manor is kind of the same thing. It's like this mysterious place. No one's ever seen what's inside. Let's go show what's inside it, you know?
So you did sign up. When you go in, you did sign up.
Yeah, I signed the billion-year contract, so I'm still.
So you're a member.
For the next billion years.
You're not supposed to say.
Oh my gosh.
For the next billion years, my soul is with Scientology.
He tries to play it off like it just haters, it's no big deal or whatever, but like now learning what's going on the inside, like you really fucked him up.
I don't think Ben's heard the audios.
No.
So this is him talking about you.
Oh, I don't think I've heard this.
There we go.
That he's putting out there for the world. That's called slander and defamation of character.
Aw.
Does he know the facts? Does he know reality on any of it? Fuck no. To destroy somebody, that's what he's done, goddammit. He's destroyed my fucking life.
That's the best quote ever.
Nice.
He's destroyed my fucking life.
Oh no, he's kind of changed to doing karaoke now.
Yeah,
and that was actually going to be one of our like grand finale things. Was like we were like, dude, let's set him up with an audience, like a microphone. Let's have him sing, like because like that's like another one of his hobbies. He has 2 hobbies. He's got the haunted house, and he's got singing. And so it's like, dude, why doesn't he just like? Because like singing's not hurting anyone, you know, like people like it when he sings actually, you know, it's like it's making people happy and stuff. But that's like kind of what we were thinking would be like one of the best possible outcomes, you know, is like he just does something to like help society instead of hurt society, you know. And it seems like singing, even if it's not helping that much, it's still a net positive rather than a net negative, you know. And I see that as a win.
What do you think about your boyfriend, what he does for a living?
I actually enjoyed watching him get tortured at Russ's. Yeah. Me and my friends all got together and we were just like all watching the live stream. And it was like kind of funny.
How long was it from start to finish, like unedited, like that whole experience?
Oh, was it like 7-8 hours maybe? Yeah. I was like really excited for him to sue me before. It would have been sick.
Yeah, he was literally like, Russ, sue me.
Well, this is my
I love your outlook on everything. It's awesome.
So he was going to sue us because we said the word McKamey Manor in our documentary. But we own McKamey Manor, so it's
That's
like
right.
we could sue him for that,
bought
you
the
know.
trademark.
So he's running a haunted house in our name,
and you still own it.
Yeah. So he's running the haunted house in our name.
So fucking smart.
What's he going to sue us for that? And then the other thing is like defamation, but it's not defamation if it's true. Well, that's what we found out with every single group we've infiltrated so far. There's always a term for the people that disagree with you. So I think the biggest thing that makes like a cult is you have to like ostracize any questions. And they like always give a name to the people that like question you. So in Scientology, if you ask a question, they kick you out and you're labeled a SP, which is a suppressive person. Yeah. Yep. If in McKamey Manor, yeah, you're a hater, if that makes sense. So he's like, you're an LIC, a low information crowd. So if you ask a question, you're a hater. In the 12 Tribes is another cult we infiltrated. I forget what theirs was. They had a name for it too.
Wow.
Yeah, the enemies. Yeah,
Enemies.
They would say we have to defeat our enemies. Like if you ask a question, they banish you, and now you're an enemy is what they would call it.
Brandon is basically the driving force behind the website. He gets all the court files, updates them, and all that.
I have a Pacer account. It's where all the records from any type of federal lawsuit are filed. Old dude has filed appeal to his lawsuit against the Attorney General, basically asking for some sort of reconsideration on the dismissal that the judge did. He already requested an appeal or a reconsideration on his verdict, and he was denied outright. The documentary kind of kicked things off, but a lot of the allegations came about outside of just the documentary. One of the main ones is that he's essentially scamming people, that he doesn't have the $20,000 or he never intended to give the $20,000 to the contestants. You know, he never laid out rules as far as like a normal contest would go. It was fake prop money. How do I know it's fake prop money? Not only can you zoom in on seeing it, but I was there with him when he bought it. I was there with him when he bought 2 bundles of $20,000 and it's fake prop money. And how do I know? Because I bought some too. And I bought the exact same one the exact same time he did. And it was from the New Rule FX booth at Transworld in 2018. His lawyer's a piece of dog shit, in my opinion. He's an alcoholic piece of shit. He was with one law firm, and he just started his own law firm. He can thank Russ for giving him enough money to start his own. It's the shittiest website known to man. Like, if you go on there, you're like, did some 3-year-old put this shit together? He got a DUI. Not to mention, if you look up his judicial review, and if you look up his judicial sheet online on Pacer, which I did, he's never won a case. He settled like 3, but in the federal lawsuit, he's never won a federal lawsuit, ever, from what I could find. He's also holding shit for Russ, some pretty bad shit for Russ. He's almost as bad as Russ, in my opinion.
He had like a big tub of hard drives. His attorney thought he might get raided, so his attorney told him to take all of those, take him to the office, the attorney's office, and they're just keeping them there, so that the cops
What a
can't
fucking
see
great
them.
attorney.
Wow.
Why would you?
Is it Saul Goodman?
When Russ told him about like his thoughts about kids and stuff, his attorney said, "That's okay. I've had worse thoughts and represented worse people."
And that's why they're close, is because they bond over
Yeah.
that.
It was a miscarriage of justice that Russ got let go. In my opinion, he's a rapist and he's a pedophile, in my opinion, right? He deserves to be locked up. He deserves to be in jail. He's ripped off hundreds of people. Just because McKamey Manor is no longer in operation does not make him any more dangerous. There's still tons of victims that have zero closure. He has no concept of what consent is. And there's plenty of people that are still currently getting fooled by him. And now he may not be doing the manor anymore, but he's doing other things and trying to lure women. And the dude has to have some sort of, accountability. I don't know what that looks like, but there's been so much that's happened since the doc that it's astounding. The whole world that's been developed around there is so damn toxic. It's wrong, and Chris and I and Boston and Carrie, we've been kind of the sacrificial lamb when it comes to most of it, but we're not alone.
If this piece of shit monster right now would be here watching in your face, what would you tell him?
Because he is watching.
And he's
gonna watch, yeah.
What will be your message to Russ?
Russ, go fuck yourself. How about that?
As I mentioned earlier, we did reach out to Brent Cooper requesting comment on this case. And did he reply? Yes, he did. And it might infuriate you. I began by sending a direct message via his official 22nd District Attorney's Office Facebook page asking if I could get a hold of an official email address to request comment for a story. A response came pretty quickly with Brent's direct business email. I then sent an email requesting his response to some things that came up during our investigation of this story on Russ McKamey without going into too much detail at first. I wasn't accusatory or confrontational in any way. I simply asked him if he'd be willing to respond in the interest of fairness since his name did come up in this story. We offered a video chat, phone call, or even an email of written responses. And he responded almost right away and said, I would need to know the context in which my name came up in order to respond. Can you give me more information? So I responded. And this time I laid out a more detailed outline of how his name came up, what he has been alleged of saying to Shay, and so forth. My main points of inquiry were pertaining to why the charges were dropped, what it would take to resume pursuit of these charges, and finally, the personal statements attributed to him by the likes of multiple witnesses. That email was sent 3 weeks ago, and he never responded again. Interesting. Also, as mentioned earlier, we did reach out to Russ McKamey himself, asking for comment on any of this. It's our journalistic duty to reach out to all parties involved and give them an opportunity to respond. To the ones that matter, at least. Justin matters to no one, quite frankly, so we kept our focus on Russ and Brent. Before I play for you Russ's voice recording response to us, fully unedited, I want to remind you that this entire 5+ hour long interview with Shay, Chris, Lydia, and Reckless Ben will be dropping as the very next episode of the Trilogy Media podcast. New podcast episodes drop every other Wednesday on YouTube, Trilogy Plus, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on, and look out for that dropping on May 7th. Once that drops, I will update the pinned comment beneath this video with the direct link to that episode. Speaking of the pinned comment beneath this video, I'm going to be leaving a ton of links and resources in that comment. These resources are not in any way a call to action or a request for anyone to contact anybody on our behalf. Don't harass people, don't break any laws, don't be a dipshit. But there are links below for you to do your own research, come to your own conclusions, and if you choose to, make your voice heard via the proper channels to your elected officials. Yes, Brent Cooper is an elected official. Also in that pinned comment, I want to put a spotlight on the Horror Road Trip YouTube channel, as well as Chris, Brandon, and Boston's website, McKameyManorRoadTrip.com. Their YouTube channel, Horror Road Trip, is a great place to follow and support them. You can catch up on past McKamey exposing content, as well as follow their journeys through all things horror and immersive haunts. The website, McKameyManorRoadTrip.com, is a massive resource of everything related to exposing McKamey Manor. Brandon, Chris, and Boston have compiled all the history, all the court documents, news links, Russ's criminal charges. You can even read the entire McKamey Manor waiver as it's presented to participants before going on a tour. There's even an entire section just on Justin, the shitfuck, including screenshots and proof of his crimes, lawsuits, harassment, Everything is here. You know that Hulu defamation lawsuit that Russ loves to refer to? Yeah, that was dropped completely by the courts due to lack of evidence and First Amendment protections, which we gladly reserve here for this video as well. The only part of that lawsuit that stuck was actually towards Justin, since he admitted on camera in the Hulu doc to illegally gaining access to Russ's emails. Justin isn't the brightest bulb, clearly, but unfortunately, due to his Hulu exposure, his McKamey Manor Exposed Facebook group has over 57,000 members in it. Like I said, I will link things below, but please be careful before joining groups online. Just because the group name sounds good doesn't mean there are good people behind it. This Facebook group is all Justin has in his life and probably aims to compensate for attention he didn't get as a child by his deadbeat father. And he's infamous for using alt accounts, just FYI. Because of course he does, and you can track all of these on the Road Trip website. Even when we posted the trailer for this doc, Justin was using alt accounts and posting in his stupid little group, mocking us and making fun of Chris and Shay. Don't choke on your popcorn. What a powerless piece of shit. 4 days until we get it shut down on YouTube. You see what I mean by roaches are scurrying? But it's all good. Our lawyers are primed, prepaid, and ready to go. So without further ado, here is Russ McKamey's response to our request for comment. Completely unedited, unaltered, and unconscionable. We got a reply.
From who?
From Russ. An audio clip. A 9-minute long audio clip.
All right, fucking let's do it. Play that shit.
Yeah. Keep it rolling. It's fine. Yeah. Mike, sorry. I know this is the podcast, but just keep it rolling.
Hello there. This is Russ. No, I'm not really interested in talking with anybody until it's time to really get the real word out there through like a Netflix movie or a real Hulu movie, not the fake one that was put out to where, you know, they got sued for what they did, right? And I'm not talking out of shop there. You can look that up to see that. But, so yeah, everything's going really good here, and all the crazy haters and all the wild things that people say, you know, they can continue doing that. They can be what I call LICs, which is, I'm sure you know, low information crowd individuals. But you got to put your common sense hat on. Take away the conspiracy theories and think to yourself, if things were really like they say they are, then clearly I wouldn't be allowed to be walking free and clear for my whole life, right? I mean, I've been doing this for 30 years, so clearly I would be locked up, put away, and you gotta, again, ask yourself, like, have there ever been any lawsuits against me? Of course not one. And if things were really like the crazies say they are, there would be a lawsuit every day. Has there ever been a police report filed against me? Of course not. With the exception of that crazy woman that I was with, and then that was totally dismissed and expunged. And if you know anything about the law, when somebody expunges something, that means it's absolutely garbage, right? For them to just expunge something, then there's nothing there. Because believe me, I'm no fan, or they're no fan of mine, and they would walk over hot coals to, you know, lock me up if they could. But whenever they see the real facts, it's always the same thing. Nothing there, nothing to see, because I am an entertainer. I'm an illusionist, and it's showbiz. It's not reality, and people kind of fall into my, you know, my mental game that I play. And when it's looked into, again, the same results. Nothing there. So I don't deal with all these interviews, and there's no they said, he said. There's only one side of truth, and that's my side. And when I get the right offer from like Netflix or Hulu, or even though I've been on those shows before, I'm sure you've seen me in other documentaries and whatever. Now, there's actually two that are authorized if you want to see real stuff. One is called Haunters, the Art of the Scare, and you can find that on Tubi. That was about the San Diego days. And then there's a Netflix show called Dark Tourist, and that's Tennessee. And I'm in the last chapter. We close out the series. So if you want to see something that's real, then, and authorized, then those are two. Everything else you see, all the haters, garbage, and they're all intertwined. All those folks all work together. The road trip hate group and rejects and whatever they call them all. There's 8,000 hate groups out there, and they're all intertwined. For example, all the people in that Hulu movie, they all know each other, they all work together, they all have the same agenda, and that's why, we sued Hulu, and, everything is just good with those guys now. So, you gotta be smart. I'm giving you a little bit more time than I would here, but since you've reached out a couple times. So when I get the proper offer from a real company, the story will come out. But it's pretty cut and dry, but it's actually a pretty interesting story that one person was able to manipulate so many people. And that's because I'm really good at what I do. So, I'm not like anything that anybody thinks. Never been drunk in my life, never had a cigarette, never had a cup of coffee, never taken any drugs. I don't really cuss. I'm super conservative. I'm not like anything. I served in the military for a total of 36 years, highly decorated. I mean, I would put up my resume against any of those idiots any day of the week. But again, unfortunately, it doesn't sell newspapers, so they go with all the wacky stuff. So they can continue to do that. And that's just, I really don't mind whatsoever. It doesn't bother me. Just like, that guy in the Hulu movie, that Justin guy, he got sued as well, and he's going to be paying for this for his whole life. So they can do what they want. I just sit back and soak in the reality of the situation, and the rest do what they do. So there are no two sides to this story. If you want to, I'm giving you another piece of information. If you really want to understand how my mind works and how this whole situation is, watch a movie. It's a documentary, and it's about a director, a promoter, a creator named William Castle. And the movie is called The Tingler or The Spine Tingler, I forget. But I'm that movie could be about me, 100%. So if you want to get some inside ballpark knowledge, watch that movie. All right. So by the way, I am not in any way, shape, or form giving you authorization to use this audio that I sent you in any way, shape, or form. So don't do what a Hulu did. It doesn't end up well, I promise you. So, yes, I am not giving you authorization in any way. I'm keeping this video or this audio that I'm sending you, so I have proof of the time and date and when I sent it. But I'm just hoping that maybe you guys will be, more intelligent than the others. But if you're not, hey, knock yourself out. But just realize there's consequences when people say and do things that are untrue. All right? So, just be aware that I watch everything that's out there, and then I make decisions on what things I want to pursue. You know what I'm saying? So, Anyways, I don't normally give anybody this kind of information, but I did for you. I guess I'm in a good mood right now. If you want to respond back, you can. But again, for a third time, I do not authorize my voice recordings to be on your show, this audio in any way, shape, or form, or even what I'm talking about, even what I'm discussing. This is between a private conversation between you and me, and, you know, just be smart. Don't be that LIC that falls into the Ben and Danny and road trip mindset and all these idiots, right? It doesn't get you anywhere, and it's absolutely not true. But it, you know, again, it doesn't sell newspapers. I get it. So have a fabulous day, and I hope maybe this straightens out some of your questions, and maybe you'll base things on reality and not the internet and not the LICs out there. Okay? All right, have a good one. We'll see you.
Well, unfortunately for you, Russ, I don't need your permission. You willingly recorded this yourself and transmitted it to me. Accountability is not something you can just opt out of. You're a public figure commenting on a public controversy. There was no contract, no confidentiality, and no legal expectation of privacy. Sorry, pal, but I'm afraid the only one choking today is you.
How are you guys feeling?
Feeling good. It was, we got pretty deep.
I'll never be able to fully express our gratitude for you guys being so open and trusting us with this story.
What did you guys do?
This
Open it.
was our idea, but it took him many hours.
I have a feeling it's a painting or something. I don't know.
Make
I touched
assumptions.
it.
No.
I'm sorry.
Shit.
Do you have it?
That
you have the same?
is fucking awesome.
Oh, look at this!
Oh my god.
You freaking kidding me?
How did you...
Who did this?
How did you...
I did.
Did you...
I draw it. So, like,
Wow.
whenever I do anything with road trip, I always put, like, wherever I'm going and with the road trip logo. So, Trilogy Road Trip.
He spent so many
Yeah,
hours.
can you show them,
He
please?
wanted it to be perfect.
I freaking
Wow.
love this. Thank you guys so much. Shay, your entire life has been abused by people that you're apologizing for that you shouldn't be apologizing for. You have been surrounding yourself with people that use you and destroy and they milk you for everything they can to make themselves happier.
Yeah.
My only hope and prayer out of all of this is that you find a way to put better people around you.
I have.
Good. You need to be with someone like this guy.
Huh. I've been really happy lately. Really happy.
Talk about the positive things for the future and where people can find them.
Horror Road Trip is our YouTube channel, Chris's baby. You can find paranormal investigations, all things horror. The Manor has stopped completely for now, but we are keeping an eye on it. Our website to stay up to date is McKamey ManorRoadTrip.com, and that's the same name as our Facebook group.
Hi guys.
What's up, everyone? Wow, we had an exciting few days in LA. Thank you to Trilogy.
Probably the best days by far the best days I've ever had.
Me too. The guys at Trilogy let you know, like you watch at home and you see people on YouTube.
Oh, they're putting on a persona, right?
You're right. These guys are exactly how you see them on YouTube.
Only even sweeter.
We had a really emotional story to tell, and I was so incredibly comfortable with them, and they handled it with the utmost care and respect. Again, we want to thank Trilogy for making this happen, but we also want to thank Squad because
wouldn't have been possible without.
Yeah, without your support.
We'll probably be back at some point, right?
Hopefully soon.
Yeah, a lot of I don't know, everything just feels like it was meant to happen, yeah. Okay. Bye.
The person like me who traveled across the fucking world and saw ocean the first time. I was your
Oh my God, it was the best day ever. It was such a perfect day, like filming here and then getting to go there.
For the people watching, you've never been to the ocean in your life.
No, never been to California, never seen a palm tree.
This is your guys' story, and the happy ending is not going to have anything to do with Russ.
Yeah.
When I saw you posted or put on your story this morning, tell me about that post, because that's the ending.
I was having this really surreal moment, like, oh my God, I'm in the place I always wanted to be, getting to do it with like some people I've looked up to for a long time, and it just felt like, wow, life can get good.
One very simple question, we won't pry, but is it a fish?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a fish.
You think?
That warms my heart so much.
What fish? Did you guys connect it? What fish?
Yep.
What?
Are you left out?
What the fuck
Oh my
fish?
God.
What fish?
A fish. It's short for a fish.
You're getting red again.
We happy.
We're very. That's
I
like
always
the best
me,
thing ever.
people that I love, everybody. When I see people happy, makes me 69 more times happier. Okay?
Okay, 69 times more happy too.
Yeah. So you happy? It means we all happy. Winnie Pooh, there is your girlfriend on top fighting you.
It's
The
not-
life is fucking
It's
perfect.
It's not Vinnie Pooh.
Drink,
It's
drink.
Winnie the Pooh.
In my country, it's Winnie Pooh. Winnie Pooh.
I hope you keep in mind that you don't need anyone else to give you that happiness.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's something
and
I've worked hard on to be able to even go for things I wanted, was to work on my own. Like, am I happy without anybody? I worked on that first. I'd honestly say for anybody, like, he's really good at silencing people and getting you not to talk about what's happened. Tell your story, tell the police, tell anybody. Don't be scared of this guy. He's not gonna do shit.
He's an insecure, powerless fuck.
Yeah.
And I love that you have refound your power.
Yeah, me too.
If you're police officer, if you're prosecutor, if you're fucking DA, do your fucking job, please. So you make the difference, and you making the difference. You have balls of steels, quote unquote, to be here and face that and say your truth. And, you know, people gonna say like, yeah, like, it's gonna be a lot of shame, yeah? Shame me. Show us your shame. Shay, we fucking love you, girl.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Like and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll leave you with this. Right after that voice note, Russ sent one more recording, a short one, a follow-up. And here it is.
Oh, by the way, in closing, if you want to promote something that is real concerning me, feel free to promote my music videos, which I just started to do a few months ago, and I am enjoying that. That's the real me. So that I'll give you permission to do. All right, have a good one.
Yeah, that's that.